Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. On your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Sayshara. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Good to go. Right on your one and only station. Culture, y'all. Black Culture Radio. Intellectual debates and discussion on your favorite internet radio station, Black Culture Radio.
We are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
The willingness to speak truth.
Now, I always want to do something. I always want to help my people.
Yeah! After listening to the lies made up by federal government mainstream media.
I'm gonna tell them what.
Ain't right, man, ain't right.
You know what I mean?
I think it's time for you to hear the truth. Tell the truth, man.
Every nation, in every region, now has a decision to make.
Hey yo, they don't like my songs. Bush came to my yard, he wants to take me on. Phone the most high, I'm like, yo, it's on. Devil's in my face, Pop, don't be long.
All you need is fighting soul. Have no fear, my son, my kingdom you own. 400 years, no knowledge of your home. Now is your chance to reclaim your throne.
Okay, Pop, yeah, no doubt. I buzz you back once I'm taking him out. But he reckons I got weapons, what's he talking about? I don't like the way the devil's running his mouth.
Now watch that, it's just an excuse. See, they don't like you, son, cause you tell the truth.
Hey, yo, Pop, United Nations turned up. They wanna search my yard, should I them up?
Nah, son, you leave them to me. Now you deal with that portion, call it Pal Fassi. I got fire for the bad side for those who oppose me. Hurricane, tornadoes, earthquakes, you'll see.
Exodus, the devil we no like. See me left from round upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey upon my mind. So me do upon the black star line. Exodus, the devil we no like. See me left from round upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey upon my mind. So me do upon the black star line.
I'm interested in the truth, and the truth is what I will pursue.
We have to recognize who our major enemy is.
The biggest challenge before you right now is, who is the enemy?
Life is becoming increasingly miserable for everybody. But when they find out who it is, it's causing trouble.
I will tell you what the mainstream media will not tell you.
The Jewish people control the media.
People need to get out of denial very quickly. Because your children are being poisoned, you're being poisoned, children are being indoctrinated and programmed and turned into software programs at school. You're being poisoned in the air, you've been poisoned from the sky, poisoned in your food, poisoned in your water, poisoned by vaccine. How bad does it have to get before people in vast numbers realize that the world ain't like they thought it was?
I'm talking to you. The principle and the idea was divide and rule, divide and conquer. $1 billion a week spent on war. 15 million Americans are homeless in the street. We can build Iraq and Afghanistan, but leave you with nothing.
You have to come together. There has to be a foundation of unity for you to get anywhere, especially if you're black in this country.
You want to play what? Okay.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing else.
I want you to hear me.
Speak the truth regardless of circumstance and stand up on the truth from the cradle to the grave.
Devils on some dirty way. Yo, the murder was the case they gave. And it was just the other day when they stepped out the caucus man in cage. The murder's undercover blood. But guess what? They slipped up. The people are starting to wake up. And as soon as we get together, they ain't here to apologize for the outcry while we're on the genocide. Till today, from the time we arrived, Mother Africa is still dripping blood from her eyes. Ain't tipping turn around.
Exodus, the devil we no like. So we left from round you upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey up on my mind. So we on the black star line. Exodus, the devil we no like. So we left from round you upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey up on my mind. So we on the black star line.
Yo, come let me bust the things for all you hustling. I might scuff your Tims how I'm busting in the fight. I'm struggling on some other ting. Head wrap and skull cap. I call my brother king. Wagwanin and you know that. It's like a prison wing how we keep the show pack. I don't hold back. Radio, play my whole track. Most cats listen close as phone taps. There's no black in the Union Jack. Britain flows pierce ears like guns with studs in them. Count bars like you're stuck in prison. Count scars on a body that's slug ridden. It's the fusion of the E's, brews and ganja, giving these youths delusions of grandeur. And only a few who've left to have a stretch on the psychiatric wing return to the manor. I'm the one that rap for them people suffering. Try function in a world that's got no love for them. Enough of them would rather vote for Big Brother than vote for them hypocrites that's in the government. F them then. It's Emmanuel and Brother Ben.
Yeah.
Felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter.
You think the US don't have weapons of mass destruction?
What's going on? It's a general idea. With who?
I'm working on it.
Jumbo, Otep, Peace, Salamo. This is Black Culture Radio. My name is Sayshara and this is Sayshara Information Interactive Show live here on Black Culture Radio and also live streaming on YouTube. Hopefully it should be streaming live on YouTube because we've had a little bit of technical difficulty, so apologies for that. And yeah, we want to try and push the information and what Black Culture Radio is doing out there. So obviously we're trying to get as many platforms as possible to push out our message, okay, and what we're all about. So that's going to take some time. So I want to big you up all for just taking the time for tuning into Black Culture Radio. I want to appreciate that for your love and your energy. I want to say, raw willing that you're in good spirits and in the best of health and life is definitely treating you well. And yes, there's so much new developments that's happening, so much information that's going out there. I just can't keep up with it. I don't know about you, but I just can't keep up with it, okay? But however, in the short little time that we got, trust me, I'm going to put as much information out there as best as I possibly can. And just to make people aware and just be informed, and, you know, you can have your own views and perspective on that, okay? It's not about me telling people what to do, okay? I can give you advice, but I'm there to tell people what to do. I'm just putting the information out there, and you make your own informed decision or analysis, or how you want to examine it or observe that. Just you do your thing, innit? Yeah? I'm here kicking it in South London, the UQ, Great Britain, Northern Ireland. It's freezing. It's absolutely potatoes out here. Trust me. You're going to catch a cold if you don't wrap up very carefully, if you don't pump yourself with lots of nutrients and, you know, vitamins and vitamins and greens, iron, you know, all this stuff that's natural. So we talk a lot about holistic health around here, and it's holistic health against the unholistic health. You know what I'm saying? Those people that don't want to practice holistic health, okay? We're not against them, but what we're saying is, okay, that we need to be able to really empower our people. Generally speaking, when we're talking about our people, we're talking about things from a Black African perspective here, but at the same time, we're reaching out to the whole planet Earth, okay? Because we're a group of people that we're honest, we're truthful, we're all about, we want this place to be a better place, okay? So we're not about violence and destruction and disorder and chaos and all of this stuff that's going on right now, okay? So, a lot of developments have been happening and occurring over this period of time. I mean, I could really, I think I need at least 2-3 shows, you know what I mean? But you know, you never know just keep it locked here on Black Culture Radio, and you might get some extras from Sayshara. Okay, so yeah, let's look at all of the information out there. We're talking about so many different things to do with this COVID-19 coronavirus 2020 and beyond. Okay, we're in 2021 now. It's really been about 10 months if you evaluate everything from the first lockdown in the, this country called the Little England, okay, the British Isles. If you look at, we've been locked down here from March till what, January? What's that, 10 months? So we can evaluate from 10 months whether or not this is proportional, over proportional or disproportional. Okay, we can analyze things. All right, so what we're saying is that if we look at all the information, this is the problem that a lot of people are having, they're not looking at everything, they're only glancing over what's been given to them. Okay, but if you really want to understand everything that's going on out there, you got to look at everything underneath the surface. Okay, if you're skating over this thing like you're skating in a skating ring, you're only going to get a portion of what it is that you need to know. You need to go into a deeper level of understanding what's going on, because the mainstream media is a blasted lying machine. Okay, it's a brainwashing machine. All right, I'm sure people out there, I don't need to tell you that, you know that. All right, but if you look at all the information, reports, and all the abundance of details that has been presented by your so-called governments, it doesn't matter where you are on this planet Earth, okay, where you are in the world, we're in this lockstep scenario that's been given to us by the United Nations World Health Organization, that claims to be the god of health on this planet Earth. Okay, unelected. Okay, and these are the people that's controlling our lives. We're living in a class war environment. Okay, it's us against them. Alright? They are making it quite clear and quite apparent and quite plain, as far as I'm conceding it, that they don't care about ordinary people, poor people, working class people, okay? Ordinary people, common law people. They don't care. They never have cared for hundreds of years. But now we're here at this point in junction in time, okay? It is more crucial and more critical for us to be able to understand and look at things from different perspectives, what I call perspectives, angle, degrees and dimension. I know knowledge and information is not for everybody, okay? But please be patient, be tolerant with loved ones out there. For those people that know what's going on, need to listen, need to take the time. We need to be able to have these conversation discussions. That's why we're here on Black Culture Radio, okay? And the telephone numbers for those people that do want to have a conversation here with me, Sayshara, the telephone numbers are +44 0208 123 8840. Okay? So, I know there's a lot of things that we need to add to my show and Black Culture Radio, which is building. So please be patient and tolerant. We will be getting there. We're going to be the best radio station out there. That's what we're looking to be aiming at. As far as I'm concerned, we are the best radio station out there, because no one's talking about this stuff the way that we're talking about it right now. Okay? So again, we're looking at all this information and the abundance of details, reports that has been presented by our so-called governance for the case for SARS-CoV-2, so-called crisis that we're in right now. Okay? We're still in lockdown. I don't know how many weeks it's been in. It's about 4 or 5 weeks. I've lost count. I don't even keep track of time now. I'm not even following a lot of stuff that they say. I'm not even watching the mainstream media and their BS. Okay? So this is alternative source of knowledge, information, and dialogue, discussion, and conversation. All right? That's why it's called the Information Interactive Show. All right? So you might say, if you look at all of this stuff, I don't know where you are, But I've been studying this thing from the start, before the lockdowns in March of 2020. And I apologise, I think last week I made a mistake. I said March 2019. And sometimes, you know, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes. But I said March 2019, which is incorrect. I was meant to say March 2020. But the time, like I said, the time is just sort of stood still. It's like it's become stagnant. And, you know, we don't even know what day it is after time. Do you get what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are furloughed, or some of us are working from home, etc., etc. Okay? So what I'm saying is that, you know, if you look at everything, if it depends on where you are, like I said, I'm looking at everything. Every single thing that they're pouring down on us, okay? And it's dozens and dozens and dozens of things in the last 10 months, okay? Again, like I said, quarantine, isolation, lockdowns, shutdowns, emergency laws. The Coronavirus Act 2020, which is 329 pages of a document that really, they never really debated, okay, in the parliamentary system of the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So we're looking at more martial laws and this curfew and open prison social life. Distancing, social distancing, shielding, face masks, the 5 different test kits, including the RT-PCR test kit, the false positive test kits coming from these test kits, the testing and tracing and tracking apps, the contacting apps, the face recognition surveillance tracking devices, the mass censorship on all the platforms that you can think of, including the mainstream media, who are the culprits in all of this stuff, okay? Mandatory laws without consent. Mandatory vaccines without consent. New products. You know what I'm saying? The vaccines and the poison and the toxins. Chemicals. We also got to look at the technocrats, the technology that's breeding EMF, electromagnetic frequency, and how that's radiating and resonating across the planet as 5G begins to open, or what you can say initialize around these different places around the world, especially in Western countries, because that's where the most technology is there with 5G, okay? And it's all about total population control, and some people say it's all about depopulation, okay? And yeah, people might say, what is the agenda? What is the agenda? Is it about rolling out? Do they want to get people, everybody, because they're talking about they want to get everybody vaccinated. And they said that they give a percentage of 70%, the minimum that they want to vaccinate. Now, I've seen that we know, some of us know that this is experimental stage that we're at with these vaccines, okay? And they're rolling out one vaccine after another vaccine after another vaccine. I know this country says that they've bought 6 variations of vaccines, okay? I'm going to talk about that, all right? So people are talking about, are they bringing in this 5G mandatory vaccines? Are they going to microchip through vaccines? Are they going to bring digital currencies, cashless societies to reset the economy? Okay? Are they actually on this New World Order Agenda 2030? Alright, so there's a long list of stuff. So, you know, all the things that they're talking about, that they brought in, the PPE, the ventilators, the pumps, the thermometers, okay, the swabs testing, okay, and all these various programs. Universal basic income. What's that all about? So that's all I want to say. I want to stop for now, and then I got some articles I want to go through, and I want to talk about a great legend, in fact, that recently passed away, that actually got the COVID-19 vaccination. I wonder if you can say in vaccination. Right. So no, this is serious, okay? And I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to talk about this for a little while, okay? Before I move on to other things. So really, you're going to see Sayshara talk about science, technology. I'm going to be touching different places across the world. Wherever the information is, I'm going to be talking about that. All right? So, to begin, before I begin, let me just cut loose.
Intellectual debate and discussion on your favorite internet radio station, Black Culture Radio. Sayshara's interactive talk show, animating flavors in your ears, words, sounds, vibrations, so true, it's crystal clear, getting you there to a place where you will begin to see, take a journey into true reality. Sayshara.
Yeah, Sayshara's in the house, okay. Building on Black Culture Radio every time. Here, keep it locked here, 24 hours a day. Alright, so I just want to touch on this quickly, okay? Because I may have rushed over this information. And I think it's kind of imperative that people get this, right? So here we are now. Most countries, a lot of countries are, under this lockstep scenario. Every government are in sync, in lockstep, okay? And a lot of people think, well, they don't see any problem with this, okay? They think that it's because everybody's doing the same thing that justifies everything that they're bringing on us, okay? The lockdowns, measures, and all of the things that they're implementing. It justifies it because every government's doing, so it must be serious and that everybody should take it seriously because we're talking about something that's highly infectious, so to speak. This is all theories, right? I'm saying this, it's all theories, right? But so to speak, that this so-called COVID coronavirus, and, I think I said that my show's title was about, it's actually about the coronavirus, which is corona is in what you call etymology. If you look at the etymology of the word, I always like to talk about the roots of words. I always talk about language. But if you look at the etymology of the word corona, it means crown, okay? If you look at the etymology of the word virus, it means poison. If you look at the etymology of the word vaccination or vaca, it means cow. Alright? So, you need to understand the language, what they're using to put us in a spell. Pharmaca is sorcery, is occultism, magic, and all of these different things that's been predicated by witches, wizards and warlocks. These types of people, a small group of people that practice these types of things. Paganism and, religion, it has aspects of religion in it because of, obviously there's information or, written words in the Bible, so to speak, and these different Bible books that refer to some of these things in some contexts, okay? Now, again, all these religious doctrines, they're not historical, they're mythology, and they have a lot of different aspects, but I'm not saying that there isn't truth in these books, because obviously it's written by man, so you're gonna find some elements of truth or some things that's gonna correlate or relate to today. So I don't have a problem with that, but when people turn around and tell me that this book is historical, they don't know what they're talking about, alright? But I'm not going to talk about religion right now, okay? We're talking about what's actually happening here in 2021, alright? And this episode that we're facing in our everyday lives, okay? I want to do a Sayshara reflection. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that, but I will do that eventually at some point. I've got everything written out, exactly what I want to say. It's just words coming out my own mind, heart and conscience, okay? But I'm not going to talk about that now because so many things developing over this short period of time. So going back to this article, California halts injections of Moderna COVID vaccine batch due to higher than usual number of adverse events. Okay. Now, the mainstream media is not talking about this. I'm going to repeat this untold times. Okay. They're not talking about that. They're not going to give you what you need to know. What they're going to give you is information that they want you to know. Information that you need to know, you're never going to know because they've got no intention of telling you. Okay? It's just like somebody said to me, why don't they talk about giving us information around the sort of natural remedies that they can give people, you know, so that people can, you know, actually have something that they can work on other than just chemicals and all these vaccines. And, you know, again, like I said, I'm against all of this stuff because I'm all about holistic health. All right. So the California health officials are asking vaccine providers to stop administering a batch of Moderna's COVID-19 jab. Remember, Moderna just came out the other day, right, with these vaccines, or even they'd even start making vaccines, right? But their vaccines already been come under scrutiny already, okay, and causing problems. So doses from Moderna, LOT 041L20A, are suspected of causing the higher than usual number of adverse events and should be shelved until a proper investigation could be conducted. The California Department of Public Health said on Sunday. The state epidemiologist Dr. Erica S. Pan said in a statement that fewer than 10 individuals suffered a possible severe allergic reaction and acquired medical attention over the past 24 hours after being injected with a specific batch of vaccine. All of the incidents appear to have occurred at a single community clinic that was administering the lot. The site reportedly closed for several hours after the string of adverse reactions occurred before switching to a different batch of the drug. Alright? And there's a tweet, I'm not going to go over because it's just repeating what I just said more or less, that Shauna Kalafi has given us, okay? I don't know what she's got to do with it, but anyway, this is for immediate release, okay? CDP. Alright, so the California State epidemiologist statement, we're recommending providers pause administration of single lot of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. And this is Sacramento, California State, alright? So it says there, but she does say, going back to Dr. Erica, I think the person is tweeting it, saying that she's actually from California Public Health, okay? Alright, so that's clear, right? So the person that's actually giving the statement is a epidemiologist by the name of Dr. Erica S. Pan. And she's saying, our goal is to provide the COVID vaccine safety swiftly and equitably, said Dr. Pan. A higher than usual number of possible allergic reactions were rejected or reported with a specific lot of Moderna vaccines administered at one community vaccination clinic. Fewer than 10 individuals required medical attention over the span of 24 hours. So, okay, so let me stop there. So that means immediately, as soon as they got this vaccine, they got within 24 hours, there was indicators or signs that showed that these people had reactions from the vaccines, okay, and it's just pretty obvious. They're not even debating that, yeah? So they're saying that we are recommending the providers use other available vaccine inventory and pause the administration of vaccine from Moderna, lot 041L20A, until the investigation by the CDC, FDA, Moderna, and the state is complete. We will provide an update as we learn more. Alright? So, it goes on to say, this article, that out of an extreme abundance of caution, also recognizing an extremely limited supply of vaccine, we are recommended that providers use other available vaccine inventory. More than 330,000 doses from the same Moderna vaccine batch have been distributed to 287 providers across the state, but this is the first time that health authorities have received reports detailing adverse reactions associated with the lot, according to PAN. Now, we just have got to take their word from it, but I'm seeing untold adverse reaction reports. Alright? Hundreds, thousands, okay? And that's what's happening. And the mainstream media, they will brag and boast and they will, big up vaccine and all of this stuff, okay? But the two things they'll never talk about. Alright? And it's quite obvious to most people that should be looking at this in the way that I'm looking at this. They're not talking about the ingredients in the vaccines. Alright? And they're not talking about the adverse reactions. Alright? And if I'm wrong, please, I want somebody to phone me up and say, Sayshara, you're wrong. I've heard it here or I've heard it there. Do you know what I'm saying? Telephone numbers are +44 0208 123 8840. So we've got a telephone line. You can challenge me. It's not about me running away with this, and having my own way and just dictating this whole conversation. You can challenge me, alright? So, and there's no excuse why people can't challenge me, because like I said, I've just read out the telephone number. There it is, okay? Alright, and I'm up for criticism as well. I'm up for criticism. That's why I'm here. I've got to take a certain amount of criticism. That's part of being responsible. It's part of the accountability factors. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with that, okay? So I'm cool with that, alright? So, while acknowledging that the less data exists on adverse reactions related to Moderna vaccine, the state epidemiologist said that it's rare for vaccine to trigger serious side effects. And this is just hogwash, right? They're spinning us this lie to cover up the facts. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Why can't they be honest? Why can't they be truthful? Why can't they be transparent? Because they're just for the people that's actually, what you could say, uttering and pronouncing these mantras, these cliches, these slogans, regurgitating and reciting and repeating, okay, are getting paid. Alright? Alright? And they're doing a job and they're working for the ruling class's elite. Okay? They're under their wings, alright? And so they know what they're doing. Let's be clear on that. Okay? These people are intelligent. They're not dumb. Alright? I hear a lot of people want to make excuses for them and their actions. Please. Please. A snake is a snake is a snake. Yeah? Alright? Stop trying to defend a snake. Let's just call it out for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Especially some of our own people, black African people, African heritage people. I told you this last couple of weeks now, okay, that you're going to get all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork trying to defend this agenda. Yeah, like they know more than me and you. Because they're all that and a bag of chips and salt and pepper in it. Because they wear a shirt and a tie. Because they got credentials. Because they work in the parliamentary system. What? So, what? They're not better than anybody. They're just as human as me and you. Alright? They've just got a brain just like me and you. Alright? So don't be scared of these buffoons. Right? That want to work with the elite, the establishment. Okay? The authorities. Okay? The cabal. The totalitarianism. Tyrannical rulers. Dictatorships. Right? So to end on this so-called article, it says the COVID-19 jab has been linked to other cases of serious medical emergencies. in December, a physician, I spoke about this last week in Boston, said he suffered one of the worst allergic reactions he's ever experienced after receiving the Moderna's vaccine, describing the episode as potentially life-threatening. Similar cases linked to the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine have been referred to the CDC and FDA for review. So all of these people out here on radio and TV, okay, they make Pinocchio look like human, alright? Because they're lying through their teeth, okay? And you can't all these people and say, well, they got their jobs and all of this stuff, okay? And that's, you know, they got to survive and all this crap. So what? So what? We don't have to live and we don't have to survive. What are you talking about? So they can rain down, yeah, this tyrannical dictatorship on us, okay? Yeah? Killing off people, because this is what this lockdown is doing. It's killing off people subtly, right? And softly, right? But you know, you're not going to be able to gather all of that stuff, okay? Because you're distracted with all the mainstream media BS, isn't it? So that's what you're focusing on and following that, right? But you're not going to get anything out of them. They're not going to give you any substance, all right? But there's lots of things going on, right? People airing their views. We're living in the 21st century now. We're getting information within milliseconds now, okay? All right, so that's an article I just had to go back to. And the other one that I wanted to touch on before I move on is the Chinese health experts called to suspend Pfizer. So we hear this two different messages now. Chinese health experts called to suspend Pfizer's mRNA vaccine for elderly after Norwegian's death, right? So, you see, everything's going to come out after the event. After these events have happened, that's when things are going to come out, right? That's when you're going to hear people are suffering from these vaccines after the event. But that's not going to stop them from rolling out one vaccine after another. And they got different brands of vaccines. I know there was 200 manufacturers of these vaccines that was in process of making the vaccines, right? So it was a race to see who's going to be at the top of the league to get the vaccines, and then to actually distribute these vaccines, so actually people can actually get the vaccines, right? And this country, the UK, ask the question: why are they being the top? Why do they have to be the top? Why do they have to be the leaders of all of this stuff, innit? Is there a reason behind that? Alright, so Chinese health experts called to suspend Pfizer's mRNA vaccine for elderly after Norwegian death. I shouldn't have to read this article, is it? After what I just read out, the title, that's the title. Okay? And by the way, the one I just read out was California. The one just before was called California halts injections of Moderna COVID vaccine batch due to higher than usual number of adverse events. That's by RT, Russian Today. Okay? And funny enough, right, I didn't think Russian... I'll tell you the truth, right, the way I was looking at all of the news, mainstream media news outlets, whatever they call, it's just any country in the world, okay? Because most of them are controlled by just, 6 corporations at the most, okay? So most of them are controlled, but I was a bit surprised that RT have kind of, how can I put it? They kind of like come out their box a little bit more than all the rest of them. So they're actually reporting some of these things that's happening to people, right? And I've kind of taken aback by that because I was a bit surprised because really they were pumping the vaccines just as much as everybody else. But I know they're actually, talking about producing their own vaccines. I've not really followed the whole progress about Russia and their progress or their non-progress around these vaccines. Like I said, I don't accept vaccines. I think vaccines should be stopped in their tracks now, period, okay? And it should be thoroughly investigated for the next 10 years, right? By some, a whole mixture, group of different scientists and doctors and professionals in the medical industry and even common people that understand the science, Alright? You know, one of the things that they keep on saying as well, they keep on spinning this spell, right? They keep on what you call these cliches, these slogans, okay? One of the things they keep on saying is that, and you hear these professional scientists, they got no heart, they got no conscience, they keep on saying it, yeah? It's like, it's ingrained in them to say it. But they're saying things like, oh, even though they're saying that the adverse reactions, okay, outweigh the benefits of the vaccines. Now you explain to me, after after they've vaccinated you and you end up with, I don't know, some condition, adverse reaction. There's a long list of stuff out there, yeah, right? But just say you've been affected by it, right? I mean, hearing that sort of rhetoric, how would you feel about that? Oh, you know what I'm saying? They're so blasé about it. Oh, for medical advances and to keep people safe and to stop people from viruses spreading, well, yeah, the adverse reactions, yeah, and all of this stuff, okay, well, then, yeah, well, obviously, yeah, the benefits outweigh all of that stuff. What are you talking about? These are some really sick, mental, psychopathic, sociopathic people. They don't care about human life. Remember I said to you, have some love for humanity. Don't just come out on TV and radio and spin these kind of rhetorics. Oh, yeah, you're going to get I've heard them saying, yeah, they're going to get adverse reactions. But, those adverse reactions outweigh the benefits because they're saying in their sick minds, they're saying, well, if people are being damaged, harmed or injured or die, so what? Who cares? Do you get what I'm saying? That's the behavior. That's the attitude. That's the way these people are conducting. Right? Alright? And, you got to stone these people, innit? You can't even talk to them, just stone them, innit? Alright, so going back to this article, the Chinese one now, alright, talking about it's not just, just like, oh, the Americans are talking over there, right? The Chinese are talking over there, and there's other people, they're talking about it all over the place, okay? That's why we're here on Black Culture Radio, right? So anyway, so Chinese health experts called on Norway and other countries to suspend the use of mRNA-based COVID-19 vaccines produced by companies such as Pfizer. And try and understand this M-messaging sequencing, okay, of the RNA. Yeah, I'm saying the technology that's in this thing, isn't it? Yeah, is computer generated. All right, I'm not going to go deep into it, but I'm just giving you a little highlight around that, okay? And it's not just like some people are saying. It's not like the regular conventional vaccines, and I've never approved of them anyway. Period. From the start. From the start, this whole thing started 250 years ago. I don't know when Edward Jenner was born into this whole thing, and indoctrinate the whole thing into this idea that they want to immunize the whole country, then the whole planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? It's business. It's profits. It's a lucrative business. Okay? And that's what they're doing. They're making money out of your demise, out of your pain, suffering. Okay? And children, little babies, alright? They're suffering from this as well. Okay? And the whole planet Earth, what are you telling me? You're telling me people are turning a blind eye to this? They're turning a deaf ear to this. No, there's people that are screaming and shouting, but nobody's listening to the parents. Nobody's listening to the communities. They don't want to hear. They're shutting you down because Big Pharma, they got more money, okay, to throw around, to flash the cash, to quieten people, to silence people, right? So anyway, going on to this article, I want to just go through it quickly. The new mRNA vaccine was developed in haste. This is not me saying it. And had never been used on a large scale for the prevention of infectious disease, and its safety had not been confirmed for large scale use in humans. Because a Chinese immunologist said this, okay? Because obviously you need to understand that when they do these trials and experimental testings and clinical trials and testing and all of this stuff, okay, there's a process, right? And basically they've leapfrogged all the process that they would normally do for conventional vaccines, okay, for this new type of mRNA vaccine, okay, this is inbuilt technology, okay, right? It's never been tried and tested before, right? And they're jumping and skipping around and skating around it, okay? They're not doing what they're supposed to do conventionally, even though really they're not doing the things conventionally with conventional vaccines anyway, because compared to biological, what you call bio drugs, what you call pharmaceutical drugs, okay? The pharmaceutical drugs have a longer, more what you call in-depth experimental trials, clinical trials, animal testing, and human testing and stuff like that, okay? There's 5 or 6 phases, okay, that you generally have to go through. The same thing with the vaccine, but they've skipped a lot of stuff, okay? And they're just focusing on, just do the mass population thing, innit? Right? So the death incidence in Norway also proved that the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine efficacy was not as good as expected, experts said. As of Thursday, Norway has reported 23 deaths in connection with vaccination. So far, 13 of these have been assessed. Common side effects may have contributed to a severe course in frail, elderly people, the Norwegian Medicines Agency said on its website. All the deaths have occurred in frail, elderly patients in nursing homes, all over 80 years old, and some of them over 90. Let me stop there, right? Again, they split everybody in these age groups, right? And basically, based on their observation, when they're doing these experimental vaccine trials, testing, experiments, okay, they monitor these various groups, okay? Then they can evaluate and make these assessments, all right? So what I'm seeing is, and I know this is pretty adamant to me, that obviously I can see what's happening. I'm not here to predict anybody's, suffering, pain, or loss of life or anything like that. That's not what I'm about, okay? But I'm seeing, after a while you can just envision things, okay, and you can work things out, okay? And it's pretty obvious to me that if you're going to give, even if you was to give the conventional vaccines, okay, the elderly are the ones that's going to suffer the most from the vaccines, right? We don't know what the ratio would be of how many elderly over the age of 80 would die from these vaccines, because obviously they're most vulnerable, innit? Right? They're going to have the most underlying conditions. But at the same time, you got some elderly, they're fit and healthy, they're asymptomatic. They don't need no vaccines. Right? People that don't have any problem or issue don't need a vaccine. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. See what I'm saying? But it's this immunization program, this concept of thinking that to prevent you from getting what they call a so-called virus, okay, you need to be immunized, and everybody needs to be immunized, so we can, protect each other from spreading it, or we can contain the so-called virus from spreading, right? So they've not proved a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff, they've not proved it. Okay? Alright, so again, like I said, the elderly are the ones, they're obvious to me that the elderly are the ones that's going to suffer the most if they do take these vaccines. Right? Because their immune system is not going to be as strong as a 30-year-old person or 40-year-old person or 50-year-old person. Okay? Alright? Or a 20-year-old person, whatever. Yeah? Anyway, it says Norway launched a mass vaccination campaign, and the first one they offered was the over the age of 85. And they said that the studies that they came to, No, well, let me read it properly, okay? The Norwegian Medicines Agency admitted that the studies that form the basis for the temporary approval of the vaccine included very few people over the age of 85. So let me stop you there. Okay? So they've never done enough studies, right, on these experimental vaccines, okay, on what they call the subjects, okay? We would say patients or people, but they call them subjects, okay? For those people that were over 85, okay? And maybe if you go down the chain, all right? And you look at the age gaps, maybe from, the next group would be probably from 65 to 80 or 70 to 85 and so on. Did they do enough studies there again, okay? And go on and so on and so on, right? In these various groups. I think there's about 4 or 5 different groups, right? But was the study sufficient to justify distributing these vaccines and giving these people vaccines? My question is no, right? All day long. Because, again, like I said, I'm all about holistic health, all right? I live by it and I would die by it, okay? And I'm not going to be ever talking about that. But if you want to talk about it, if you want to do those things, like I said, I'm just here giving the information out there. You take it or you leave it. But as long as I'm giving it to you, right, I think it's up to you. I'm sharing it. It's up to you how you want to take it or leave it, all right? But at least it's off my head, right? So the Chinese expert said that the death incidence should be assessed cautiously to understand whether the death was caused by vaccines or other pre-existing conditions of these individuals. Okay? And the name of this person called Yang Zhangqiu, a virologist from Wuhan University. And it's funny that the Wuhan, those two Wuhan, what you call laboratories, biosafety level virologist laboratory. Those laboratories, okay, were all about viruses, right? Making viruses. Okay? So I just want to let you know that. And it was, one of them was where the epicenter of where they said the virus is initiated. Not too far from the wet market where they sell all these exotic wild animals for food distribution, or you can say for food products or food that people are going to eat, right? It's things that me and you ain't going to eat, but they're wild animals, generally speaking, okay? But that's where it started in Wuhan, there in this wet market, okay? And just down the road from there, there's a what you call a laboratory that's working on viruses. So you got to weigh these things up, okay? What is going on there, all right? Anyway, it says the mRNA vaccines teach human cells. Look, listen to this. The mRNA vaccines teach human cells to make a protein to trigger a immune response. Then the immune response can protect people from getting infected if the real virus enters the body. But unless the real virus that they're talking about, this so-called bogus mystery virus they're talking about, goes into your body, how can they make these assessments? How can they evaluate? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's all not making any sense, right? The more and more you delve into it, the more you dig into it, okay? It says that meanwhile, toxic substances may be developed throughout the process of mRNA vaccination. Thus, the safety of vaccines cannot be fully ensured, Yang said. But that's not the case for inactivated vaccines in China, which have more mature technology, Yang said. A Beijing-based immunologist who requested anonymity told the Global Times on Friday that the world should suspend the use of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine represented by Pfizer, as this new technology has not proven safety in large-scale use or in preventing any infectious diseases. Right? So let me stop there. I think the rest is just plain repeating itself, okay? I think you get the picture. right? So what I'm saying is, those bogus people on TV and radio, they're not talking about this. Sayshara can't be the one that's talking about this, the only one that's talking about this, right? We need more people to be talking about this, right? And expose the liars. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to expose these people for what they are, right? And that's all it is, all right? So I'm sorry if I've upset a few people, but I'm not here to apologise. I'm not here to massage people's egos and emotions, okay? You adults, you know the deal, okay? Sayshara's here, and he's probably the hardest critic here in this country, okay? No big thing. That's what I'm about.
Intellectual debates and discussion on your favorite internet radio station, Black Culture Radio. Sayshara. Radiating, permeating, and emanating through speech and action in full gear, automatic traction, exposing the illusions, the lies, and all of the distractions. You've just entered the Sayshara zone.
Yeah, Sayshara's here on Black Culture Radio. Big up Black Culture Radio and all those people that's locked in and tuned in here on a Sunday afternoon, coming from London, England, little England, the British Isles, okay? So this is the voice, okay, for the voiceless that we're talking about, alright? So, loads of interesting developments that's been occurring on a day-to-day basis. I can't keep up with it. You know what I'm saying? I just can't keep up with it. It's just not for me alone to bring out all this information, right? Because there's so much of it. So, it's a start. But one of the development that was interesting to me, and I want to do a quick tribute to this legend, great legend, Hank Aaron. He's coming from my parents' generation age, okay? And, yeah, we have to really big up our parents' generation because they had to go through a lot to get us to where we are right now today. You know what I'm saying? But this man is a great legend, no doubt about it. You know, I know there's people out there that's giving loads of tributes to this legend, and I'm going to just touch on this just to give you a heads up, alright, what's going on. Then we're going to go into some other stuff, right? So I'm moving fast, alright? So, interesting person, Hank Aaron, great legend as an American professional baseball right fielder. So I'm just going to read the article, okay, here on Wikipedia, just a couple of paragraphs, alright? And then we're going to go into the incident, okay, allegedly, the COVID-19 vaccine that, you know, some people are saying that that's what took him out, okay? Now, it's difficult to quantify what's going on, right? But we can look at some things and see if we can correlate certain things and see if we... Because really, you need to really understand someone's story, okay? And their medical history and their background and things like that to really ascertain what actually happened to this person who has recently lost his life. So I want to say my condolences and hearts and minds goes out to Hank Aaron's family, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, sons and daughters, his whole family, and all those loved ones that know him directly, and all those who don't know him directly, but do have a deep, a kin, connection and a form of relationship with this great brother, okay? So, Henry Louis Aaron, born February the 5th, that's only a few days from now, isn't it? Okay? I think he would have been 87. February the 5th, born February the 5th, 1934, and died just recently, January the 22nd, 2021. Nickname Hammer, or Hammering Hank, was an American professional baseball right fielder who played 23 seasons in Major League Baseball, MLB, from 1954 through to 1976. He spent 21 seasons with the Milwaukee/Atlanta Braves in the National League and 2 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers in the American League. Aaron is regarded as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. His 755 career home runs broke the long-standing Major League Baseball record set by Babe Ruth. Now, Babe Ruth is famous, no doubt about that. And I'm not into baseball and a lot of these American sports. I'm not into it, right? But you hear names and you know what's going on there, yeah. But Babe Ruth, boom. But this is how great this person was. He broke Babe Ruth's record, and it stood the test of time for 33 years. And it goes on to say that Aaron still holds many other Major League Baseball batting records. He hit 24 more home runs every year from 1955 through to 1973, and is one of only 2 players to hit 30 or more home runs in a season, or at least 15 times. In 1999, the Sporting News ranked Aaron 5th on its list of the 100 greatest baseball players. In 1982, he was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. Aaron was born and raised in and around Mobile, Alabama. Aaron had 7 siblings, including Tommy Aaron, who played Major League Baseball with him. He appeared briefly in the Negro American League and in minor league baseball before starting his Major League career. By his final Major League Baseball season, Aaron was the first Negro League Baseball player on the Major League roster. Okay, so that's historical in itself. Okay, repeat that. By his final Major League Baseball season, Aaron was the last Negro League Baseball player on the Major League roster. During his time in the Major League Baseball, especially during his run for the hitting record, Aaron and his family endured extensive racist threats. Okay, so I'll stop there on the tributes and talking. He's got a lot of stuff on Whippy. Of course, he's been around for 86, 87 years, and he's done so much. He's broke so many records, and he's had so many awards, and he's achieved so much in his life. Okay, there's a lot to say about him. Okay, and his story is very interesting. I'm sure if they haven't already made movies about him, and played stage theatre shows and all of this stuff. Okay, I'm sure that's what they're going to be doing in the future. Alright? So, again, condolences, hearts and minds here, Sayshara, Black Culture Radio, London, England. I want to say condolence, heart and minds goes out to this great sporting legend, Hank Aaron. Alright, so very interesting that the timing of it, I think, is more what we need to be concerned about. Okay, and the message that he was actually trying to present and deliver to the black community in America and probably around the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's a legend, right? So a person like him taking a vaccine, all right, would, in the what you call the medical community or the scientific medical community, would give rise to some encouragement for black people to take the vaccine, right? Now, I don't know, is this a snake move? I think it's a snake move. These are the kind of snake moves that we need to be aware of, okay? And I don't know, but you need to listen to this, okay? I've got a couple of videos talking about this, alright? This particular video is called Baseball Great Hank Aaron Gets COVID-19 Vaccine. Here he is live on TV. There's a black woman doing it. So this is what's happening.
Makes me feel wonderful.
That was quick.
I don't have any qualms about it at all. You know, I feel quite proud of myself of doing something like this. You know, it's just a small thing that can help zillions of people in this country.
Are you feeling sick today?
I'm sorry.
All right, so that's from Hank
New
himself.
at 11,
okay?
a former Secret Service agent
That's
is...
why I don't like YouTube. They just roll on the next video. You can't stop it. All right, so anyway, yeah. So you heard that, okay? That was coming from Hank Aaron himself, okay? I don't know who encouraged him or what gave him the idea that he should do it or what. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from, you know? But he took it, and about 18 days later, well, that's what's happened, okay? So, alright, listen to this one then, alright? This is the news.
In an attempt to encourage African Americans to take the COVID-19 vaccine, Hank Aaron publicly took a jab of Moderna's unscientific concoction. Yesterday, an icon of Major League Baseball and a lion of the civil rights era passed away in his sleep. What is astounding about the reports of hammering Hank's death is how rarely mainstream media references the fact that he took a dose of a supposed elixir that was rushed into production. Instead, the news that's being peddled is that he died from unknown causes. While Aaron's death is tragic, let his experience be a cautionary tale for all who are seriously thinking about offering their arms and lining up to become lab rats for Pfizer, Moderna, Biogen or AstraZeneca. Politicians, pundits, opinion leaders and doctors have a vested interest in pushing these spurious cures. Most of them are on the dole and have a monetary incentive to encourage unwitting Americans and people around the world to be injected with experimental boosters. What they are not telling you is that these injections are messenger RNA, mRNA, which have never been tried in large scale on human beings until multi-billion-dollar biotech corporations started clinical trials last year. Scenes reminiscent of Tuskegee Institute experiments, black people are yet again the targets of government-endorsed injections. The standard vaccine takes anywhere from 7 to 10 years to gain FDA approval and has to go through 5 clinical phases, each phase more rigorous than the previous. There is a reason for this, of course. Science demands proof and efficacy beyond a shadow of a doubt. The 5 phases, pre-trial, Phase 0, Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4, are meant to assess if tests or treatments are safe for and work in people. Only when there is a consensus that the cure is effective and the side effects are not more injurious than the disease is the vaccine given clearance for public dispensation. Not with these sham vaccines, in each case Pfizer, Moderna, Biogen, AstraZeneca and now Johnson & Johnson were able to truncate the approval process. Instead of 7 to 10 years, they tested their snake oil for 3 months and instead of undergoing 5 clinical phases, they only underwent 2. Their study is so phony that it is laughable. They only tracked participants for a 90-day window, their sample size was skewed to ensure the best possible outcome and they are not tracking the health of people who took the vaccine. For all we know, their guinea pigs are dropping dead on a daily basis but we will never learn of it because there is too much money to be made by pretending these shots are safe. Hank Aaron's death from Moderna's vaccine is not an outlier to be dismissed as an exception. More and more stories of vicious complications and fatalities are slowly coming to light as much as mainstream.
Yeah, so let me stop it there. The music's crap, innit? I couldn't take the music too tough, you know what I mean? But anyway, I think the message is there. That's what I'm playing it, okay? so you get a different perspective, right? So you see there, it gives you outlines exactly what's going on there, all right? And some people in the black community are talking about it in different places, but I don't think there's that conversation, that we're supposed to be having as a black community, right? To say, well, look at it. But what's happening is, obviously, they're dumbing it down, innit? You understand? They're dumbing it down. They're saying it's natural causes, or they're trying to say, oh, we don't know, but they're saying, at the same time, they're saying it's natural causes, right? So, I mean, proper autopsy, okay, needs to be done. Proper autopsy, most definitely, or 2 or 3 different verifications of that needs to happen, all right? And I got something else. This is, I said it was the news, but that wasn't the news. I think this is the news. Yeah.
Welcome back to the 4 on 5. As more people learn about Hank Aaron's passing this morning, we're getting more clicks on stories about the Baseball Hall of Famer on WKRG.com. One that is getting clicks is probably more than any of them, the story titled "Baseball Legend Hank Aaron Got Virus Vaccine Earlier in January." Amanda DeVoe is here to tell you the story is not meant to read that anyone has said or anyone believes Hank Aaron died because of the COVID vaccine.
Right. There are rumors circulating online that the vaccine led to his death, but officials have not made reports on what his cause of death actually is at this point. But yes, Hank Aaron's last public appearance was one of caring and compassion, getting the COVID-19 vaccine, hoping to send a message to Black Americans that the shots are safe. The baseball legend got the Moderna vaccine in Atlanta on January 5th, along with other civil rights leaders. Many Black people have concerns about the vaccine because of the infamous Tuskegee experiment. Aaron said publicly at the time the vaccine is just a small thing that he can do to raise awareness.
Intellectual debates and discussion on your favorite internet radio station, Black Culture Radio.
Yeah, Sayshara's on Black Culture Radio. Telephone number for those people who are locked in and want to share some knowledge and information across the planet is +44 0208 123 8840. Okay. So maybe there's some Americans out there, some of our brothers and sisters out there who can enlighten us and maybe impart some information around what they think and feel about that. Again, like I said, on a deeper level, we need to have these kind of conversations, or can be honest with ourselves, right? And they're not gonna. I don't think the mainstream media's even really talking about this in this country. And he's a legend, Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think before, say, pre-lockdown or pre this whole thing when it started, okay, in January or December or even November, whenever, okay, that if he did pass away, obviously they would have been talking about it. There would have been some big things on the mainstream media, on TV, radio, and everywhere. Everyone, it'd be like the buzz thing to talk about. But it's not the buzz thing because it's connected with the COVID-19 vaccine. So obviously they're going to try and everything possible to suppress that, censor it, and all of this stuff. Okay. So that's what's happening. So we can expose the mainstream media all day long. Yeah, we can expose them. We can expose the people that's working with them or for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, that there has been a comment from someone famous, or connected to someone famous, so to speak, in America. And this article kind of touches on it. Alright? Bradley Bill's wife mocked for suggesting. So anybody that says anything, you see, that says, oh, yeah, well, there could be a good probability that he died of vaccine. You can't even say that, right? Because you're going to get mocked, right? So this is what's happened to the wife of Bradley Bill. Bill's wife mocked for suggesting the Major League Baseball player icon Hank Aaron died due to COVID-19 vaccine. That's the title of this article. Bradley Bill's wife, Camilla, has come under fire, severe criticism, after suggesting that the COVID-19 vaccine was the cause of the Major League Baseball player legend Hank Aaron's death. Bradley Bill's wife, Kamala Adams, says that Bill has found herself in hot waters after insinuating that the Major League Baseball player great Hank Aaron passed away after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine early this month. The NBA star's spouse took to social media to voice her claims, but faced severe criticism from netizens. Yeah? Don't know what that word means, but I thought it would be citizens, but it's netizen. Maybe we need to look at that word, okay, what netizens mean. Yeah? And Hank Aaron passed away on Friday, January the 22nd, at the age of 86, and his death came less than 3 weeks after he was injected with the vaccine. Now, there's people that are saying, let me stop there, there's people that are saying it's 2 weeks. It's not 2 weeks, okay? It's about 16 days, 18 days, okay? So, between 16 and 18 days, that's not less than 2 weeks, alright? So, let's correct that. Anyway, it says Bradley Bill's wife, Kamaya, I spelled the name Kamaya, Kamiah, makes bizarre claim over Hank Aaron's death. Less than 24 hours after the tragic passing of Hank Aaron's, Kamala Adams published a story on her Instagram profile in which she wrote that close members of the Major League Baseball's legend's family verified that Hank was not ill. She then referred to the fact that the COVID-19 vaccine which Hank received might have been the cause of the Major League Baseball icon's death. In a separate post, Kamaya wrote, "Play with that vaccine if you want," unquote. And there's an image, I think it's an Instagram image, by Camilla Adams, 28. I don't know what 28 means. It says, "Not telling others what to do, just know I'm praying for this world. This is so sad." And it goes on to say also, and close friend members have verified he was not sick. Now this is in big capital writing. He was not sick in big capital writings. Yeah? And it says, play with that vaccine if you want to. Yeah? So that's her message, okay? And really, there's, I think there's a tweet here. She says, "Yo, go right ahead and play around with that vaccine if you want to." And that was at 12:23 a.m., January the 23rd, 2021. However, Kamaya's post came under severe criticism from netizens. Netizens is Netizens, okay? Can't get the time to actually look at what netizens mean, but I imagine it's the same word as similar to citizens, I would imagine. It says a user of the internet, especially a habitual or keen one. Right. Wow, that's different languages. The words are all coming out. Okay. So there you go. Netizens, Netizen. Right. So all you people that's user of the internet, especially a habitual or keen one, that's what you're termed as. Right. There you go. Then it says there's other people coming in. Obviously, it's massive comments around this. Bradley Bill's wife is... So these are the offensive comments. Obviously, the people that's just that's really, I don't know. Maybe they're part of the agenda. They're dumb. I don't know, or they're just being critical or sheeple. I don't know. I'm not agreeing with what the negative comments as far as I'm concerned. They're negative, innit? Yeah. Because I'm not going along with this whole thing, innit? Yeah. But it says there, Bradley Bill's wife is a complete dummy. Worms for brains. That was from. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give them no whoever they are. I'm not going to give them no credit. Yeah. It says Brad Bill wife really saying outrageous things about the coronavirus vaccine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that there's a divide anyway. It's going to be a divide, isn't it? Yeah. Those for vaccines and those against vaccines. Okay. And even if things happen to people in their lives, you see the person took the vaccine live on TV, right? I know there's been a lot of publicity around politicians and these entertainers, so-called stars, starlets, or whatever they want to call themselves, these people, to encourage people to take the vaccine. This is the length and depth, this is how low they're going to go, right? But, you know, it has been reported that some of the vaccines that they've been taken live, they weren't proper vaccine, but they weren't properly vaccinated, okay? It's either that, you know, you could see there was something wrong, that it wasn't really happening. They weren't actually getting the vaccine or the serum or the injection, okay? So there was a lot of that going on, and some people exposed that, and yeah, we can see that. But in this case here, well, you know, it's debatable, right? It's debatable. If you took the vaccine and it was the real vaccine, and then if he was a strong, healthy person, you know, generally speaking, you know, judging by what it sounds like to me, then you have to think, well, in that short space of time, maybe, like, if it never happened, maybe say, what would you say? What would you say? If it never happened within, let's say, if he never died within 6 months, say, for example, I don't know really, I'm just putting it out there, then maybe you think, well, you know, you would have forgotten about you even had the vaccine. Do you get what I'm saying? But it was like literally less than 3 weeks in his passing, so you got to really suspect that the vaccine is highly contributional to this whole thing, isn't it? Right? So it's really sending us a message out to, I mean, black people must be thinking, you know what I'm saying, wow, you used a great legend as an example and you took him out. Now, is there a conspiracy around that? Is there a conspiracy around that? Because we've got to look at this really deeply, you know, because there's something that's not right about this whole story. It's a real life story we're talking about. But there's something not right about it. Because why did they use him? They could have used any other star out there in any field of professional sporting event, okay? But they used this great legend. You know what I'm saying? Right? And I don't know if they're using reverse psychology or they're inverting the psychology. You know what I'm saying? So, in the conscious minds of black people, you know what I'm saying, they're still going to get the vaccines anyway. You know what I'm saying? Even though this clearly, significantly shows, okay, that there's a good probability that, you know, this vaccine is definitely connected to his death. Right? Anyway, 2 paragraphs. It says there, Aaron received the coronavirus vaccine on January the 5th, as he was part of the population at risk in the USA. The 25-time Major League Baseball player, All-Star, was happy and proud to have been vaccinated and even asked several citizens to do the same. However, just 2 weeks later, Aaron died. No, let me correct that. Less than 3 weeks later, Aaron died of causes that are not yet clarified. Yeah, okay. It's debatable to me, and maybe others out there, which has made the situation related to the application of the vaccine and there are those who believe that this caused the death of Hank Aaron. One of Hank Aaron's reasons for getting the COVID-19 vaccine was to show the African American community how safe it was to get it. Wow. But it's not, is it? Because my brothers took this vaccine, he died for us, isn't it? And that's some of the messages going out there, that maybe he died for a cause, or maybe he died for us to see that, you know, I'm a great legend. If it can happen to me, then it can happen to any of you. You know what I'm saying? Now you can deny that. All you black African people of heritage, African heritage out there, are you going to deny this? Are you going to deny this? Anyway, to finish off this article, it says fans all over the world poured in with their tributes for the Major League Baseball icon who won the World Series with the Atlanta Braves in 1957. Aaron played for the Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers, and both franchises retired his number 44 jersey shirt. Okay? So, just one other thing I wanted to look at where this whole story is concerned, okay? Looking at his career. One thing I just highlight is that the only other person that beat his record was a brother by the name of Barry Bonds, okay? He's still around, yeah? I think he's in his 50s, 55, 56 or something like that, I don't know, yeah? But anyway, Barry Bonds' record is 762 what you call on-base runs, okay? And Hank Aaron's is 755. Babe Ruth is 714, right? And I looked at the top 10 ranking, okay, list, all right? And I think 8 out of the 10 were all black. You know what I'm saying? We're just dominating that era there, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So we're big hitters, big hitters. You know what I mean? So, definitely my condolences goes out to his, hearts and minds, to his family and all his loved ones out there for the loss of this great person, you know? And many people out there, my condolences goes out to many, many people who have lost their lives recently, loved ones out there. Sometimes, what I'm hearing is that everybody's dying of COVID-19. What did they die of, Sayshara? Oh, COVID-19. Oh, what did they die of? COVID-19. Everybody's saying COVID-19. I mean, a year ago, no one ever heard of COVID-19. Now, it's just rolling off the tongue of everybody's mouth. Everyone's dying of COVID-19. Right? So, it's really got to black people. Black people are very, very paranoid right now. You know what I'm saying? It's induced into them in the way their psyche is right now. And, they're more likely to wear the mask. And, the masks are kind of detrimental to one's health and well-being if you wear them for prolonged periods, okay? And, there should be guidelines around that. So, because maybe some of the, because I hear young people are passing away, and they're attributed it to this so-called COVID-19. Well, COVID-19, the coronavirus, again, like I said, in their dictionary books, in their medical dictionary books, okay, it's a common cold, right? But yeah, there's variations and variants and different strains and a long list of stuff. They can say that all day long if they want. It's mutated like this and it's mutated like that, and it's a super spreader and all of this crap, right? But they never proved a lot of this stuff, you know that, yeah? And they're running game, they're giving us illusions, okay? And I'm not saying there isn't biological weapons that can kill. Yeah, of course they've used all of that stuff, okay? But are we talking about that now? Are we talking about a biological weapon, right? That is, it's a direct attack. If it's a direct attack, it's just going to happen once, isn't it? Right? And that a whole bunch of people, wherever it's actually been targeted that's where it's going to be affected. So if it did happen in China, let's say, just for, we just run our own scenario. Just say it happened in China, there was a biological weapon that, you could say biological virus that escaped, or, some of the scientists that were working in there got contaminated with it. Would their contamination actually cause them to actually spread it? Would they actually contaminate others? You know what I'm saying? Is it transmittable? Right? There's no evidence for that, okay? But let's say that they attacked the whole area. Let's say they just sprayed the whole area in an aerosol form, some sort of biological weapon that was highly toxic and dangerous, okay? Let's say they did that in that area. Well, all those people's going to be affected in Wuhan in that area, and it's going to happen to those people there, right? And people's going to be falling all over the place and all of that stuff, okay? But is it transmittable? If it's a biological weapon and it's a direct attack, is that transmittable, right? I mean, these are all questions that need to be asked. That the World Health Organization is supposed to be investigating about anyway, to find out what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? We still don't know what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? So one can only make these assumptions, right? These what you call hypothesis around what really happened. But okay, there at the time when they said it happened, okay. So that could have been in December. It could have been in January. It could have been November. All right. But let's say of 2019 to going into transition in 2020, right? So, let's say that's one theory, and then the second theory is that is it a natural occurrence with these different strains of what you call colds or common flus or coronavirus, the coronavirus family. Is it one of those ones where, natural, what you call immunity, we're just naturally going to deal with that, okay? Are they just saying, is it that, and that really, if it is that, okay, have they proved that that's transmittable, and that can, be transmitted from whatever the strain is, okay, or what the spreader is, or, whatever the strain is, okay, whatever language that they want to use. Can they prove this? Is transmittable, and how transmittable it is? Is it highly transmittable, or as a low-level transmission? Right? You can answer hundreds of questions, thousands of questions. Okay, and to me, what they're doing is they're using the epidemics that they've had for quite a few decades now. They've been using epidemics around the world a lot. Okay, the World Health Organization has got a long list of epidemics that they have attended, they have dealt with. They've got a record of it for the last 20 years and longer, all right? So they would know about epidemics, right? And they've got experience around it and stuff like that. But I don't think they're the people who are going to best be in the position to deal with anything to do with the health industry at the moment. Because to me, as far as I'm seen, is that they're corrupt, or they're being corrupted, or they were created to be a what you could say an organization that's working for the elites, that they're in the elites' pockets, right? So they're only going to serve the elites and their best interest, okay, right? So if you look at it, there's a pattern that obviously the more epidemics, the more pandemics, and the more people are scared and frightened out of their skin and everything, the more they can say, yeah, we're going to give you vaccines, isn't it? We've got a reason to give you vaccines, yeah? and it justifies that, and they go, oh, well, if we can't just give one person a vaccine or a group of people because if a group of people are contaminated, we've got to give everybody because they're saying that it's transmittable, right? All right. So I'm moving on. Okay, I'm moving on. Again, we just touched on talking about Hank Aaron, a great legend, and the thing that he took this thing live on TV, right, to show black people that this thing is safe. You see, they came out with some information saying that 70% to 80% of black people won't take the vaccines. Okay, I don't know where they got that information from, because I'll tell you the truth. If anybody knows where they got the statistics from or that survey, I want to see it, because where is it coming from? Because I'm not seeing it. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if they're making these things up. They're putting us in the picture, right? Because, like Hollywood, they have to put us in the picture, right? Because the Hollywood films, productions, they wouldn't look colourful if black people weren't in it, if they're not in the picture. So they have to put us in the picture, right? And that will propel everybody else saying, look at black people, they're under the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? So they're spreading this maybe disinformation around, because we don't know how many black people is going to take the vaccine. How do we know this? Do you know what I'm saying? Where's the survey? Where's the statistics? Remember, you can't trust statistics either. Okay? But I'm not saying you can't use the statistics. It depends who's operating it and what it's been used for. It depends on the purpose and what is the initial outcome of these surveys or statistics. What is the purpose of it? What is the initial outcome? Why are you doing a survey or statistics? So to me, they're contriving to put us in the picture because they want to get black people to be the most vaccinated, right? It doesn't matter where we are, in the Caribbean, Europe, the United States of America, North America, Central America, and the continent of Africa, the motherland, and wherever we are in Australia, New Zealand, Asia, anywhere we are on the planet Earth, okay? And we're over 1.5 billion, people, you know what I'm saying? So there is a lot of people are concerned because, like I said, they've been experimenting on black people from the concentration farms of the enslavement era. I call it concentration farms. I'm the first one to call it concentration farm because I could see it was pretty obvious that these people could take advantage of little boys, little girls, raping them and all this stuff, okay? And, to get people to work the land, okay, all they have to do because obviously they're looking at production. What's the production level that they want to increase to get profits, all right? So obviously they're going to be looking at the labour hours, the work hours that's being put in to get a certain amount that's being produced, okay? So they would have monitored that. They would have made observations, and the more observations they made, the more they would have worked it out, okay? And they'll be experimenting along those lines. All kinds of manner of things. Remember the torture. Some of the torture, what you call instruments that we used, people could come in, doctors and nurses and scientists would come in, I want to do whatever I want to do. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's been like that, right? Let me see if, all right. So, okay. So that's been ongoing for real, all right? So we're the most experimental people on this planet Earth. I mean, some people would not agree with what I just said there. You know what I'm saying? Because historically they don't understand our story, right? But we're the most experimental people on the planet Earth, and they never stop experimenting. And in fact, if you look at Bill and the Melinda Gates, Hell Gates Foundation, okay, for the last 20, 21 years, they've been given a green light. They've been given a green light to go around the world and vaccinating a lot of children. They've caused a lot of damage. Hold on one second, brother. I just want to finish on this, yeah? They've gone around the world and they've vaccinated a lot of people and have caused a lot of damage, harm, deaths and all of this stuff. And I'm wondering to myself, how are they getting away with this? How are they getting away with that? How would somebody do these kind of crimes against humanity and get away with it? Brother, yeah, come in, sorry.
That's no problem, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, you're welcome. Come in.
Yeah, just touching base with you regarding the situation with these vaccines. Because even in my area now, they've set up schools. They've got schools there, and they're basically vaccinating people in schools. So things are getting worse.
So they're vaccinating people in schools, parents and adults, yeah?
Well, anybody that wants it.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is...
Vaccine. I mean, they've already vaccinated 5 million people already.
Yeah, but I'm just a bit concerned about, it's this children's school, you know, is it children as well?
No, not children.
Right.
Adults.
Just
not
adults.
Children
Okay. I just wanted to be clear about that. Yeah, there's a campaign.
They're using that as a place. They're using that as a place to vaccinate people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course they're going to campaign. They're going to push it, innit? Yeah.
But I don't see any resistance in this country. Everybody's just complying to this.
Yeah, maybe that's the
I don't
case.
see any... Sorry?
I don't know. Maybe that's the case. There's some resistance, but I don't
do
know.
you see any?
I don't know how deep it goes. Depends. Different areas, different strokes for different folks. Maybe. I don't know. You know. I know at the moment that we're in, we're not allowed. It appears like we're not allowed to travel into different areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what this lockdown's all
Well,
about.
it's just a start, isn't it?
Huh?
It's a start. I mean, it's just a start, really, isn't it? What's happening? I mean, you know, you can't travel one place to another, but you know, obviously, when they roll out the vaccination passports, and then you're not going to be able to travel unless you take a vaccine.
Right, that's a different. You're talking about traveling to different countries now, yeah?
Yeah, traveling to different countries, yes. You're going to need a vaccination passport.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. The thing is about it, you know, if you look at other countries, they're actually completely against this whole vaccination program thing. For example, France and Italy, they're very skeptical of the vaccines. But apparently it's only the UK, Israel, and some other Arab countries, I think it's UAE, that's accepted the same Pfizer vaccine. Right? Okay, and they've accepted it and they've rolled it out in a mass production type of fashion.
Yeah, but even in those countries, there's problems, isn't it? There's problems because there is reports out there. People are having adverse reactions. To me, it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. You know what I mean? But you're not obviously gonna. Most people are not gonna hear about it.
You know what? Actually, there is a website that actually reported the vaccine deaths and the vaccine reactions. It's quite frightening, actually.
Yeah, I spoke about it
See if I can get a name for it. See if I can get a name.
No, I spoke about it already.
Oh, you know it already?
Yeah, is there one in this country? The one you're talking about is in America called VARS, which is vaccine.
VARS, yeah, that's it, yeah.
Vaccine
cool,
adverse.
You mentioned it on the show already?
Yeah, a couple of times. I've gone through that. And
okay.
So the VARS, the VAERS, or VAERS.
I won't mention it again then.
Yeah, no, it's all right, Bob. You couldn't always mention it. What are you talking about? It's good that you mentioned it. You know what I mean? Because that means you're sort of aware of what that is all about. So carry on. But I just want to say what it is anyway. It's vaccine adverse events reporting system. Okay, it's a long thing. But go ahead, brother. Carry on. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, carry on.
Go
No, carry on. I'll give you away.
Oh, you give me away. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying. So, yeah, obviously this website basically reports adverse reactions to this vaccine and also deaths as well. So it's a lot of people getting sick from this thing. But over here, there's quite an aggressive campaign in terms of advertisement to push these vaccines onto people. And it's very worrying because, the more people take it, then the more power the government will feel that they'll be able to make it mandatory. They're going by, how people want it. But then again, it's 5 million people, so it's 5 million people out of what? How many?
Well, in this country, you're talking about this country?
Yeah, this country, yeah.
No, they've gone over 5 million already. It's over 6 million now. I don't know what the last count is, but the last figures I saw was over 6 million.
Bloody hell. Is there only one dose or more than one dose?
It's up in the air because now, what they're doing, this is my analysis, okay, is I think anyway, I know, they're experimenting with all these vaccines anyway, period, right? So they're experimenting with very different varieties of vaccines. It's like candy now, isn't it? Yeah? So they're trying one vaccine to the other vaccine. I think they're trying to figure out I don't know what they're doing, but they're experimenting. They're trying to tweak. They're doing a lot of things. They're making observations. So they probably know what they're doing, okay, with all these different variation of vaccines. Because even recently they came out with a new one called Novavax. I might touch on that later on if I get time. So remember I said to you they're bringing out 6 vaccines in this country, right? There's 200 different manufacturers or makers of these vaccines. I don't know, they said there's about 200 different people working on these vaccines, right? So there's a race to bring out these vaccines. So you're going to be looking at a league table of vaccine producers and makers and all of this, the whole machinations that goes with it. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that go with it. You know what I mean? To get it from A to B. Do you get what I'm saying? To get people to be injected into it. You know what I'm saying? Right down to the person that's going to do it. Right? It's a lot of machinations, right? The process. So
yeah, well, I've been going to, I've been talking to a few people, and they actually, it's a mixture really. You get people that say they will never take the vaccine, and then you get others who say, yeah, they'll take it.
Yeah.
But they have to see what happens with other people first before they take it. But they shouldn't be taking anything in their bodies.
Yeah, some people are confused. I say a lot of people are highly confused, and I can see why.
They are brainwashed.
Yeah, of course. If you got
deeply brainwashed, it's quite troubling actually.
Yeah, if you got a mainstream media, the way that this mainstream media positions itself, okay, it's a brainwashing machine.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's intended to do.
It's psychological programming, isn't it? That they've done on the masses. Right. And it's worked because they've used their media, to brainwash people. I don't know how we're going to change that. I just don't know. Because, I don't think there's enough people awake in the UK, especially, to basically change course of what we're going through right now. You know what I'm saying? And they're just bringing out more rules right, left and centre now, aren't they? Yeah.
Of course.
So, they go by people's consent, really, and silence is a form of consent as well. So, I mean, even these protests that used to be happening, that's kind of filtered out now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's not been any protests for the past month now.
Yeah, because they've really
controlled anyway.
They've really battered down the hatch, innit? Because they're not allowing people to do anything out on the street.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is that these protests, like for example, the Stand Up X one, okay, that was all controlled anyway, because they've taken a lot of money from people via donations, and all of a sudden they've disappeared.
Yeah,
They're no longer around.
Yeah, there's controlled opposition is always going to be something that you need to be aware of.
That's right.
That's
right. But we need to, as I said, we need to wake our people up, man. And I'm so happy that you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
To try and wake up our people. That's what we're focusing on.
Thanks very much.
I mean, do you feel that our people are willing to take a risk and take a vaccine, or do you feel
I
that...
don't know.
Do you think the majority of us are not going to take something
I
like
can't
this?
decipher that because, I mean, the only way you can do that...
What have you gauged yourself, like talking to our own people?
What I would say is that just like most people, they're going to be vulnerable to it. Do you get what I'm saying? To whatever's going on. They're highly confused around a lot of different things, okay? Because there's so much things going on. It's just a short space of time. Yeah? And we haven't had the respite to take the time to say to ourselves, well, look, what's going on there? Let's have this kind of conversation. You know what I'm saying? The way these lockdowns, the lockdowns are very crippling. Yeah? You still there?
I'm still there, bro.
Yeah, I'll just
can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah, so it's crippling the economy, and it's devastating people's lives in different ways. So I think it's designed to make people weak.
That's right.
Right, and submissive. Okay. And psychologically, people are confused about a lot of different things. Okay, they're following the science that they say they're following the science. Well, I would say to people, I'm following the science, but not the science that they're presenting to you. There's alternative sciences, way of views of how we need to look at things. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
It's about maybe freeing up people's minds and how to free up people's minds so they can look and have different ways of looking at things. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So when people look onto TV and the radio, and they keep on tuning into the stuff, innit? That's pushing this propaganda message out there. Okay?
Propaganda, but when you think about it, we don't have our own strong media, do we? And that's what we need to do. We need to have our own strong media. And then if we've got our own strong media, then we can influence the minds of our people to think the right way, instead of the way of the European. And that's what hopefully this station can do that. Black Culture Radio. So I just feel that it's like we're swimming against the tide, really. Because majority of people over here, especially on the streets, really actually soul destroying seeing people in masks, and so many of them. I mean, don't they know the dangers of wearing a mask? What it does to the immune system. You can get this apoxia. You can develop apoxia from it, and other things, even lung cancer. But yet they're still wearing it and believing what the media tell them. I mean, you can't catch a virus from breathing in somebody's face or breathing, it's bullshit. Sorry to swear. That's further crap. But, as you said, this goes to show, this pandemic has shown how powerful the media is. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sayshara, you there?
I'm hearing you, yeah.
But we have to remain positive and link with people that are like, as I said before in other times when I've rang, we need to basically link with people that are like-minded. Yeah.
Great stuff you're saying here. On
You know,
culture,
and create our own reality.
Yeah, great stuff.
That's what I feel. That's what I feel, brother. Because you know, things are going to get worse. They're not going to get any better. They're going to get worse, and you know, people are going to be looking for help, especially ones that are awake. So we need to, if we can reach out to other people, you know, we need to do that, and we need to move fast because, you know, everything just seems to be moving at such a fast pace right now. You know, because I can see in the future, I can see there's going to be civil unrest. I can see there's going to be food shortages. I can see the banking system that we rely on in terms of all our money in our banks. One day it's going to just be wiped off the face of this earth. You know, you won't have any access to your money. It's just, you know, obviously it's going to be organized chaos, basically. But, you know, we have to fight. We have to fight like mad to change things.
Yeah, strong message. Great message, brother.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
All right, brother. Thank you. No, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no, great message.
I appreciate it. Because I do kind of feel a bit helpless, though. I do.
No, I don't feel, you shouldn't feel like that. No, you shouldn't feel like that.
A bit downhearted.
No, the main thing is that people should remain strong mentally, physically, spiritually, and culturally in whatever way possible. That's not going to hurt, harm, injure, or damage. You're not going to rape and do any of these heinous kind of crimes. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah, man.
And have peace and love in your heart. You know what I'm saying? This is the most time that we need to have peace and love in our hearts. All right?
Of course.
So, I know it can be devastating. You know,
it's soul destroying when you see people out there. You know,
that's the word.
They're just giving up. You know, and
people have given up.
Even like go on.
No, people have given up, and unfortunately, like I said earlier on, that these lockdown measures, the things that they're implementing, and the psychological effects and emotional effects and all of this is going to attribute to people's health and well-being, right? And that's causing people to die, right? That's the reality. And you know, I don't know when that's going to be looked at. Who's going to look at? Who's going to be responsible for holding people accountable for these actions? But I know there are people that's actually working towards those things. You know, so no one should feel disheartened. People are actually doing things. It just feels like that because, you know, we're kind of like limited. We seem like we're limited in what we can do because of the lockdowns. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I just don't understand why so many people are rushing to actually get vaccinated.
Well,
when there's no virus, right? Or even if there is a virus, the virus does not justify you running for a vaccine.
Well, I'm going to go into that. As soon as you put the phone down, I'm going to touch on that a little bit more.
Okay, I'll hang
what
up,
the
man.
propaganda is all about and where is it coming from, and you know, who are the culprits that's playing the roles in all of that stuff, who's actually acting on behalf of that.
Yeah. All right, brother. Nice talking to you, and we'll touch base next week.
Definitely.
All right, brother. Thank you. All the best.
Thanks for calling. Much appreciated. Yeah.
Intellectual debate and discussion on your favorite internet radio station, Black Culture Radio.
Yeah, Sayshara on Black Culture Radio. This is the Information Interactive talk show. And yeah, I want to pick up Brother Makwan there, family and everyone. Okay, so I'm here. Just got a few minutes left. All right. I'm going to touch on this call. I've got a couple of things to go through, okay? And again, you'll get a picture. I'm building week by, you know, every Sunday you hear me. I'm here. and we're putting a message out as best as possible on behalf of Black Culture Radio. Black Culture Radio is here for the voiceless out there, definitely, you know what I mean? So we want to hear from other people, whatever's going on out there in the world, okay? So, interesting article here. I've been watching events around, like what's going on around the world, like I said, okay? And I'm reporting from whatever's going on there, yeah? This has come up again about the Tanzanian president expresses doubt on coronavirus vaccine, right? So, let's look at this article. I've been following him recently. I know he's under a lot of attack, okay? And some of the leaders in Africa and in different places that are not going on with the agenda, they're under attack. Anybody that opposes the status quo, so to speak, can generally be under attack. I'll be under attack, right? So anyway, he goes on to say, Tanzanian President John Magufuli has warned his health minister against rushing to adopt COVID-19 vaccines, suggesting the vaccines may not be safe or effective. In a speech Wednesday in western Tanzania, Magufuli expressed doubt about vaccines produced by Western countries. I've been saying that for a long time. There's many of us people, African-centered people, okay, who talk about holistic health, right? I mean, you know, we sleep, eat, holistic health. You know what we're talking about here, yeah? So, we're not here to say, oh, you know, our lifestyle is better than anybody else's lifestyle, but we're going to impose our lifestyle on you. You know what I'm saying? But what we're saying is, look, let's have a balance, right? Let's look at all the things that's been around for thousands of years in the motherland where we originate from. The food is a source of energy, our energy, right? And we've always had that, okay? So there is a difference, what you call a polarized difference between Western culture and African culture when it comes to natural foods. We've got it in abundance. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's been like that for tens of thousands of years, right? So how the hell are you going to come with your infantile science and tell us what foods we're going to eat, what's best for us? We've been doing it for tens of thousands of years. What we want to put in our body. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good message for us to understand as well. So it says here, if the white man was able to come up with vaccinations, then vaccination for AIDS would have been brought. Tuberculosis would have been a thing of the past. Vaccines for malaria and cancer would have been found, said the president. And that's right. You know what I'm saying? They talk about how fantastic their science is, okay? But they never had a cure for anything. What we're talking about? We're talking about a pseudo-science. What I call a pseudo-eugenicist supremacist science. Anyway, Magufuli directed the Ministry of Health to adopt a vaccine after only certified. He said he's directing the Ministry of Health. And it's interesting that you should have a Minister of Health. What's the Minister of Health in this country, in Little England? Why are they adopting? So anyway, Magufuli directed the Ministry of Health to adopt a vaccine only after it's certified by Tanzanian expert. That is a slam dunk. That's what every black leader supposed to be saying. I don't want to hear anything else. Right? I don't want to hear anything else. If you're not saying this, you're a snake. And that's to all the black leaders in the Caribbean, in Africa, in America, in Europe, wherever black leaders are who claim to represent black people. But there again, we have to be careful because there's people out there, they're like chameleons, that can claim to represent black people. But they don't. They represent the ruling classes, the elite. They're gatekeepers and advisors to the king or queen or whatever. Right? And I know that. So anyway, he goes on to say, he said, Tanzanians must not be used as guinea pigs in vaccine trials. Boom, boom. Little is known about the state of the coronavirus in Tanzania, as the president has declared the country to be COVID-free and officials refuse to keep track of coronavirus infections or deaths. Because this is a Western thing, isn't it? Let's be real. If you look at all the statistics, alright, I've looked at this a long time ago, months ago, and I tried to make these comparisons and correlations, okay, with hot countries. Hot climate countries, because coronavirus is a common cold. It's only going to affect mainly in cold countries. I'm not saying you can't get it in some of those tropical countries, okay, because you know they've got rainy seasons and different seasons and stuff like that, yeah. But it's you know, we're in the middle of the winter right here in this country called Little England for months. Sometimes it feels like months we've been in lockdown in the cold weather, and we're begging for the sun to come out. When's the sun going to come out? When's the sun going to come out? Because it feels like forever. It's a good thing we don't live in Iceland. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're here. You know, sometimes and we have to adopt to this weather, but it doesn't do us very good as African heritage people, as black African people as a whole, right? We know that, right? It affects our bones. It affects our whole metabolism. You know what I'm saying? It affects our immunity. It affects our whole anatomical, biological, molecular structure, right? We're just not meant for the cold weather, right? But this thing is a Western thing, isn't it? If it's a virus, what they're talking about, if they say it's a virus, it's their virus, and it's not our virus. It's your virus. You've created it, right? You've created it, right? Or it comes from you in whatever form you say you want it to come from, right? Because there's this question about what a virus is. Anyway, he goes on to say that Magalefi told those in attendance Wednesday that they should continue to put their trust in God, saying that they have lived for over 1 year without the virus because our God is able and Satan will always fail. Yeah, I mean, I have a problem with God and saying, but yeah, this, all right, good and evil, I can get that. You know what I mean? But I have a problem because God is man-made and Satan is man-made as well, right? But, you know, maybe he's a religious person and that's how he feels. But I understand the message he's bringing, yeah? But anyway, it says that when we're talking about God, whose God are we talking about? Anyway, it says that the United States is currently warning Americans to avoid all travel to East African countries, assigning the country a level 4 alert, the highest advisory level, right? So that's what he says basically there, right? And he's always been standing up really to this whole agenda. He's been standing up to it. He's not really going along with it. And he's, you know, I'm glad in a way, I'm happy in fact that he's a chemist himself. He's a chemist. Right, he's got the credentials, you know what I'm saying? So you want to argue with me, you can argue with me if you want, but it's not me that's giving this message, it's him. So if you want to argue with him, argue with the Tanzanian president. He says he expresses doubt on coronavirus vaccines, okay? And basically what he's saying is that he's going to get his own experts. What does that mean? He don't trust nobody outside that's foreign to them. And that's right. Absolutely 100%. Right? Why would you trust anybody? Okay? This is what the bonkers thing about it, isn't it? Yeah? This country doesn't produce vaccines, okay? They have to get other countries to produce it for them. Now they're arguing that they got the vaccines, okay, that they got from Germany, right? Or wherever, yeah? And they're saying now that they want some of the vaccines because there's not enough doses around, so they're arguing in Europe. Oh, we want that vaccine that you were meant to get delivered, right? We want some of those vaccines. So there's a big debacle now going on with these vaccines, these poisons, these toxins, right? So that's a big message for Tanzania, and you know, other leaders need to think about saying the same messages. Okay, why we? This is the thing. The whole thing is right. We need black African people, wherever we are. We've got to get away from this dependency from Western culture and other cultures, regardless. Okay, we don't need none of that stuff they're producing and they're developing. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to do something, we've got to do it ourselves, isn't it? It's for our own benefits, okay? For our own interests. Yeah? Things that's going to reflect us and our whole way of being. That's going to complement our bodies and what we intake into our bodies. Right? That is fundamental. Right? So when these leaders want to talk all this snake talk, going along with the agenda, you know they're a snake. A snake is a snake is a snake. It's not going to change to transform into anything else other than a snake. Right? So stop all this snake talk. Alright, so quickly, let me go here. Because, yeah, big up those, you know what I mean, that's doing their thing, innit? Yeah? You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to do. That's what needs to happen. That's the message that all of our people need to know about. Okay? We need to have our own sciences. To me, again, vaccines have never been 100% safe. Okay? The medical industry have got no interest of making vaccines 100% safe. Right? Because it has to be natural. In order for them to do that, it has to be natural. And what they do, they suppress alternative natural medicines, natural remedies, natural healing properties, natural products, natural elements, everything natural. They're anti-natural. These people are anti-natural, anti-nature, anti-creation. Seriously. Anyway, listen to this. Very quickly, yeah? Let me see if I can get this one on. This is only a short video, right? I want you to hear it. Because, you know, it's better to hear it from them than me, right? So hear it directly. Here's an announcement, yeah? This is the BAMI Celebrities Call Out Vaccine Misinformation. Oh, it says there misinformation, right? But that's what the title is of this video. It's not. That wasn't the actual title of the video. But this is what somebody says. Yeah, it says BAMI celebrities call out vaccine misinformation. Right. So this is about. Recently, they've been putting out messages. Now, remember I said to you that a long time ago. I've been saying this. Okay, that the celebrities are going to try and find a way to encourage people to go along with the agenda, whatever the agenda is, okay? If it's masks, it's masks. If it's the lockdowns, it's lockdowns. You know, if it's the testing, it's the testing. If it's whatever, right? The vaccines and all of that, okay? So now, it's come to the critical time. It's strange, but listen to this.
Unimaginable ways, and many of us have lost our loved ones.
But we will find our way through this, and we will be united once again with our friends and our families. All we have to do is take the vaccination.
Many in our community have suffered the most, largely due to our efforts on the front line at the NHS or as key workers.
Looking after others and serving our community is what we do. It's how we've been brought up. That's why we have such immense pride when a family member becomes a doctor or a nurse. We have so much respect for them. They need our respect now more than ever. They need our help.
Today, those doctors and scientists have found us a way forward, a COVID vaccine that is safe and will help save lives.
Now, of course, we have many questions and concerns. Let's clear some of them up.
There is no scientific evidence to suggest the vaccine will work differently on people from ethnic minority backgrounds.
Oh, really?
The vaccine does not include pork or any material of fetal or animal origin.
Oh, really?
It's important to understand that the vaccine does not contain the live virus itself, only harmless elements from it.
Wow.
And taking the vaccine is the only way to boost the immunity
These are the
against
scientists
COVID
of today,
for
huh?
you and
Celebrities.
your loved ones.
The vaccine was available quickly because of a global effort.
Because huge funds were made available by governments around the world. So something that would normally take years to just months.
Yeah. So you
There are
should know
no
this a
cases
lot.
of any significant side effects among the millions of people who have received this vaccine.
It is very, very rare for vaccines to have long-term side effects.
Oh, really? Yeah,
What we do know is that
How long is their
COVID-19's
nose?
long-term implications can be
Cool.
deadly.
The COVID-19 vaccines have gone through the same strict processes and regulations as other vaccines, such as
Yeah, this
for
comedian.
measles, mumps,
You
rubella,
can't
and TB.
listen to a
There is
comedian
no
as a
chip or
There's
tracker
not
in the vaccine to keep watching where you go. Your mobile phone actually does a much better job of that.
Pregnant women are not excluded from the vaccine, but should discuss their case with a doctor.
There's also no evidence to suggest the vaccine affects fertility.
Really?
Please help save lives. By taking the vaccine, we will soon be able to live normal lives again.
Soon we will be reunited with our friends and family provided we do one simple thing: take the vaccine.
Just one simple step will mean we can once again eat, drink, pray and hug together.
Not only will you be saving your life, but you'll be saving other lives too. And there can be no better gift than that. Thank you.
Yeah, Sayshara. Wow. Listen to that, eh? Listen to that. Yeah, that. So that was Bammy. I'm going to say the Bammy thing, innit? Yeah? So, okay. So the Bammy is the black, Asian, minority, ethnic group that they put us in. We don't accept that that acronym and that analogy that they want to put us in, they want to club us into this group. We don't accept that, right? But some people do. Some of our black African people, African heritage people, they accept that. So there's that divide there. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about how these celebrities who claim to know everything about these vaccines are pushing these messages, right? So they've been given a platform to do that. Now, this particular, how can I put it? They call it, Bammy celebrities call out vaccine misinformation. Well then, let's call it, most of the people are Asians, from what I can see, okay, on this one. I don't see any black people, so I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, you're celebrities. That's all you are, celebrities. And that's all you'll ever be. No one's not going to take you serious, okay, because you don't really know nothing about science. You just claim to be following the science, but you're not studying it. None of you said that you know anything. You're just saying something, you're just regurgitating a line or two that's been probably given to you, or you've been told, you know, that's going to be suitable, that's going to be presentable, so you can encourage people to take the vaccines, okay? So you're saying that there's a lot of misinformation out there. I'm saying that the information that you're saying is misinformation, and it's misleading, and it's wrong, okay, to deceive your people. This is deceitful, okay? But, you know, I mean, this is how far these people are going to go, okay? This is how this is going to go, right? They're trying to encourage their people in the Asian community, because most of these people are Asians, right? I don't know how Asian people feel about this. I'm sure they're not happy, some of them. You know, the Muslim community, and the Hindu community, and the Sikh community. You know what I'm saying? But, alright, it's just celebrities. They're just celebrities, okay? No one really pays attention to celebrities. So, you know, I don't, you know, maybe people won't take them too serious, right? But it's interesting that roughly at the same time, we got another information. This time it's to do with black people, coronavirus, black MPs unite in video to encourage vaccine take-up. Okay, so I looked at this video and I'm going to play it. Listen to this.
Conservative MP.
MP. Yeah, let me go from the start, okay?
I am a Labour MP.
I'm a Conservative MP.
MPs don't agree all the time. But on taking the vaccination issue, we do.
Coronavirus has really turned our world upside down and taken far too many of our loved ones far too soon.
COVID-19 has exploited the existing inequalities in our society.
The pain that our communities have gone through is indescribable.
The infections and deaths have affected families in every part of the UK.
My husband and I had a mild case of COVID-19.
Last week, I lost my cousin to coronavirus.
During the pandemic, I have lost an uncle to the virus.
We understand the fears, the anxieties, and the confusion.
We understand the genuine history of mistrust some black people will rightfully feel.
Each of us has the power to protect ourselves and to help slow the transmission.
And now the vaccination is available. Speak to your GP or your pharmacist to learn more.
They have been robustly tested by some of the world's best scientists and data analytics experts and authorised by the MHRA here in the United Kingdom.
Get the facts.
Speak with trusted healthcare professionals and encourage your family to do the same.
My father, my mother, they're having it because they work in the healthcare sector.
It's proven to be effective. So if you or a member of your family is invited by the NHS to get the vaccine, please, please, please take it. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your community.
Don't let misinformation put you or your loved ones at risk.
My aunt recently had the vaccine.
My family friend has had the vaccine.
When it gets to my turn, I certainly will be taking it.
When it's my turn, I will be taking the vaccine.
When it is my turn, I will be taking the vaccine.
I'll be taking the vaccine.
When it's my turn, I'll be taking the vaccine.
When it's my turn, I will be taking the vaccine.
Let's work together
and beat this virus once and for all.
Yeah, Sayshara's back on the set once again.
Intellectual debate and discussion on your favourite internet radio station, Black Culture Radio.
Yeah, Sayshara back on the set again. Okay, so look, I played the two videos back to back, right, for a reason, because the differences, that there's differences out there. I'm looking at these videos, okay, and you can see that there's issues, yeah. You can see that there's differences, okay, with these two videos, alright. So we've got one predominantly that's Asian, from the Asian community, celebrities, okay, and then we've got one from a bunch of black MPs, alright, from what you call cross-party MPs. So that's from Conservative, Labour, Liberal, and I don't know what other parties there is, but it's meant to be a collaboration of different parties coming together to encourage black people to take the vaccine, right? So telephone numbers +44 0208 123 8840. Maybe someone could tell me what's going on there, and maybe give us a different perspective, okay? Because I'm looking at things differently here, right? And maybe the way I'm looking at things may not fit your perspective, or you may not agree with my perspective, okay? Or you might say, oh, some of my perspective is okay, it's cool, but there's some areas I don't agree with. right? But anyway, you can get that video on, there's quite a few sites that's doing it. It's not on YouTube, but there's quite a few sites doing it. It's on the BBC News online website. Coronavirus, called Coronavirus, Black MPs Unite in video to encourage vaccine take-up. Now it says that Black MPs from across the parties have joined together in a video encouraging people to get the coronavirus vaccine. The Office for National Statistics have found all ethnic minority groups other than Chinese are more likely to die from the virus than white people. Now, that's really debatable, and it's, to me, disagreeable, right, to say that. Anyway, it goes on to say, but a study suggests black people over 80 are half as likely to get the vaccine. Alright, so campaigners have urged the government to do more to encourage those who are reluctant to get the jab. What campaigners? See, they got statistics. What statistics are you talking about? They got campaigners. What campaigners are you talking about? Are you making this stuff up? Anyway, it says black soldiers highlighted in headlines. Blacks over 80s half as likely to have COVID jab. British Asian stars unite to dispel COVID myths. Black people twice as likely to catch COVID. So you can get more information there. It says Jabir Bhatt, Chief Executive of the Race Equality Foundation, says the government needs to get data on who has been offered the vaccine, who has taken it up, and rise that to target messages. So the government says it's working closely with minority ethnic groups who have questions about vaccine, including working with faith and community leaders. In the clip tweeted by Vaccine Minister Nadeem Zahawi, Labour MP David Lammy and Conservative James Cleverly speak about how they have lost relatives to the virus. You know, let me stop there, yeah? Because what I'm saying, you see the videos, yeah? There's two videos, right? There's differences between the two videos. Obviously, one's Asian and one's black, okay? And so, you know, they always talk about this multiculturalism, yeah, this government, yeah? But you see, it's all about divide, right? They use divide when they want to use divide. They use multiculturalism when it wants to suit them. Yeah, they move the goalposts as they go along, right? That's the name of the game, okay? And that's how they've been playing it before me and you were born, right? So here we go. Another situation, yeah? Looking at these two videos, right? You notice that the Asian one is more relaxed. I looked at both of these videos. I was listening very keenly, and I was watching very keenly, right? And there's so much differences with these two videos, right? So the Asian ones now, you notice that they're not getting all emotional about their parents and their family, right? And using those sort of sentiments, yeah? And they're just keeping it, they're just talking about the science bit with you know, none of them, they probably haven't even read a page out of any of these things, out of these science books or anything like that. They haven't really studied anything. They ain't got no time, right? So we know they're talking a whole load of cobwallets, okay? Generally speaking, right? But I'm not saying they're not intelligent, they can't work things out, yeah? They're just reading the script, they're just going along, they're getting paid, okay? They've been told to do something, just like an advert, right? They're just going to do it, right? But I noticed the video was a little bit more, professional, if you look at the video and the way it was presented and everything, okay? And the way it was done, you know? Maybe it's the same people that done it, right? But, you know, if you look at the black video, right? The black MPs, okay? It's all emotional stuff. They're pulling at your strings, right? And all of this stuff, okay? They're stirring all this emotion in you. Oh, my dad died away. My uncle this, that, and the other, right? Someone's passed away that's got COVID-19, yeah? You know, the Asian people weren't really saying it that much. You know what I'm saying? The Asian video, you know, with the celebrities, they weren't really saying that much. But our one was just ring, yeah? And they're coming out with these one-liners. The black MPs are coming out with one-lines. You know they could chat forever, innit? But they've been given one line to chat about this. And it looks so unprofessional. You know what I mean? It really does make him look really unprofessional. I mean, I think it's a bad production gone wrong there, you know what I mean? I don't know who done it or what it's about, but to me, you know, it kind of looked very, very scrappy. The Black MP's video, very, very scrappy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, I don't agree with the message, definitely, right? But just to finish on this article, it says the BBC is not responsible for the content of external sites. Yeah, you're right. Labour's former secretary, Home Secretary, Dan Habit, right, says MPs don't agree all the time, and yeah, that's right. And so that it goes for everybody, isn't it? We don't agree all the time, do we? Sometimes, and we don't agree with you, and you know, all you black MPs out there, and what you're saying and you're doing, because you've not consulted us. You've not come and said, "Oh, let's have a conversation around consulting ourselves." You've come together for the first time ever in all my life. I've been around in 6 decades now. I've never heard all these black MPs, the cross-party black MPs come together. So go there, Operation Black Vote. What do you think about that? You know, Operation Black Vote, right? And all these groups, these political groups, okay, that saying that they can change the system by being a system, okay? We've been talking about that since 1948, since our parents' generation, the Windrush generation, were invited into this country by the British government after World War II, where Germany and the Luftwaffe come and bomb up your place, okay, and destroy the infrastructure and destroy buildings and, you know, devastate the areas. They came here to build, to serve, and to clean up this country, right? And we didn't have no blue-collar workers then. We didn't even have blue-collar workers then, right? And then even though blue-collar workers' jobs, they didn't even want us to have their blue-collar workers. Okay, that's history. We moved on from then. We've done the blue-collar working jobs, okay? We've worked our way in the system. And now we've got white-collar workers, right, in the system. Fine, no problem. Now we've got white-collar workers in the parliamentary system. Oh, okay, no problem. Has there been any change? Has there been any significant change for us as a group of people? Does anybody represent us? No. But now all of a sudden you want to come and represent us now out of nowhere. Remember now, Sayshara don't trust the politician system. Right? For good reason. Okay? I mean, if you want to go down that avenue, that road, that's up to you. Freedom of choice, right? You understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying that, fine, you got to think about, you got to have think about having your own independent party. You see what I'm saying? With your own manifestos, with your own policies and your agenda, right? And lead that. Because there's no other way you're going to get anything anywhere out of this, okay? Because the people that's running this system, the government, the parliamentary system, there's a shadowy government that they have to answer to, right? There's a hierarchy, there's a pecking order, right? So even if you did get into this is what happens. You're going to come up against a brick wall, a stone wall. You're going to come up with barriers and blocks. You can't get into that circle. There's an inner circle within an inner circle within an inner circle, right? So when people say, "Yeah, you got to play the white man's game and the white man's system and all that," you know, fine. We've done that. You can wear the suit and tie and look good and talk good and all of this stuff. We've been doing it for over 70 years, right? Where have we reaped the rewards and the results? It was our parents that paved the way. They paved the way, and since then, there's not been any change, right? You still got the Caribbean. You can still got parts of Africa still under the Commonwealth, right? Subject to the Queen, the Crown, state of the country, right? So anyway, it says here, Labour's former Home Secretary Diane Abbott says MPs don't agree all the time, and the Labour colleague Dawn Butler adds, but on taking the vaccine, we do. Raw. And another Labour MP, Clive Lewis, says, we understand the genuine issue of mistrust some people will rightfully feel. Really? Really, really. You do understand that. So if you understand that, right, why are you going along with this agenda then, isn't it? Why are you going on to it? Are you trying to say you know what the science is about and you agree with the science, okay? Or you know, you're saying that you know the science. You're saying you know, are you being honest? Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, it says Conservative MP Bim Afalami, who took part in the video, told the BBC One, "I will do anything I can to help increase the take-up of vaccines amongst black and other ethnic minority populations." And his quote says, "As a son of a doctor and a pharmacist, I know the real stresses and strains that the National Health Service is under, and the fastest way we believe that pressure save lives and get our economy and society back to normal is for everybody to take the vaccine." You see, this fixed sensation on that the only way we're going to move forward or go forward is that we've got to take the vaccine. That's the final solution. That's the best they can do? Are they for real? Are these people for real? Are these people for real? They're coming together to tell us to take the vaccine after all that we've gone through. And they're saying it after all we've gone through. They want us to go through even more pain and suffering based on ignorance. What, are we stupid or dumb? And you want us to stay dumb and stupid, or is that your agenda? As a son of a doctor, that's a load of baloney. And Labour's shadow women and equalities minister Marsha D. Cordova said black people are more likely to die from COVID-19 than white people. Where's the evidence for that? Even though they got this BAMI report for COVID-19 that they came out very, very quickly within a few weeks after the lockdown. I think it was no more than 6 weeks, 8 weeks at most, they came out with this BAMI COVID-19, what they call disproportional or some report that black people are going to die more from this COVID-19, all of this stuff, right? Anyway, it says, "We understand this lack of trust may stem from structural racism in our history, education, and health services, but we also know that the virus thrives on these racial inequalities, and the only way to stop it is to have the vaccine." Raw. Oh man, it's hard even reading this stuff out. It's real crap. Earlier this week, British Asian celebrities, including comedian, I'll just play that, Ramesh Ragathan, sorry, I ain't going to get your name right, and cricketer Moeen Ali made a similar video urging people to get the vaccine. We just heard that. The open safety study by the University of Oxford and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine found of the million of those over 80 but not living in a care home, 43% of the white people have been given their first dose, compared with 30% of the Bangladeshi and Pakistani people and 21% of the black people. See, this is what they're getting these stats from, isn't it? Right? The study, which was based on more than 20 million patient records in England, also found that people living in the deprived area or those with mental health conditions or learning disability were also likely to receive the vaccination. The authors of the study, which is yet to be peer-reviewed, said the finding of discrepancies between ethnic groups are concerning. It requires action and further investigation. Possible drivers include systematic barriers to healthcare access and, a vaccine hesitancy amongst certain groups. It may also only arise in the very earliest stages of this new vaccination program, they said. The BBC Community Affairs correspondent Adina Campbell says there are many reasons why some are fearful, including racial inequalities which already exist, a flurry of misinformation which appears to be targeting those groups on social media, and a lack of trust towards those in public health care. Full stop. Right? So that's from the BBC website. I've just read it, played the video, the whole shebang, right? And you can see the problems there, innit? Yeah. They talk about the lack of trust. They talk about the misinformation, the inequalities, the history, a long bag of stuff, okay? But the main thing they want to do is to overcome all of this is that they want black people to get the vaccines, and that's all we need to do. And that's going to make things move forward for us and help society. And that's the only way, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on there. There's one other thing I wanted to touch on, okay? Because it's more or less caused an argument where I'm going to be jumping off soon, okay? Let me see if I got... I'm not sure. Because I was delayed, I'm not sure if I got any extra time. I'm not sure if anybody's coming on after me. Let me see. Greetings, Sayshara. Right, yeah, brother, especially DJ, respect for that, okay? Alright, so there was an argument between one MP that wasn't actually in the video, and they created one big argument over it, and it just goes to show, yeah, that people's watching you, everything that you're doing, they're watching you, yeah. So the Equalities Minister, that's it, Kemi Badenoch, criticised for attacking HuffPost journalist request for comment on Twitter. So this is American versus England kind of argument, right? But it's between black people, because both participants are both black, you know what I mean? But it's a strange one, yeah? I'm just going to go over just maybe 10 minutes. I'll just read this and I'm probably gone, yeah? So I apologise if I'm going on too long, yeah? Alright, so I just want to cover this one, yeah? Because it's caused a little diplomatic argument. I don't know if you want to call it that. But it says, Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch has been criticised for publishing private emails from a HuffPost UK journalist, requesting comment on a potential story. Mrs. Badenoch took Twitter to criticise Nadine White after the journalist approached the minister for a statement about why she wasn't featured in a recent video campaign featuring black cross-party MPs encouraging vaccine take-up across black communities in the UK. The video included Conservatives James Cleavey and Labour's Diane Abbott, among others, who urged communities to get the vaccine. It came after a study suggested that black people over 80 are half as likely to get the vaccine. Right. Following Mrs. White's email sent to Mrs. Badenoch, the minister tweeted to her 38,000 followers, and quote, a slight insight into how some journalists operate. On Wednesday, I shared our positive, well-received cross-party video to increase vaccine confidence in the midst of so much disinformation. Last night, we heard great news about the Novavax vaccine, which I'm been trailing. She says she's been following the Novavax vaccine, which she's been trailing. Or trialing. Sorry, it's trialing. But she's trailing it at the same time, right? So, today an unfortunate reminder of why there is so much confusion and mistrust was in meetings all day yesterday and made me aware of 2 emails received from HuffPost journalist Nadine White. She tweeted. So basically, let me just touch this, yeah? So basically, this MP for the Justice of the Equalities Minister, yeah, Mrs. Badenoch, she's received 2 emails from this journalist who's happens to be a black woman, right, asking her questions about why wasn't she in the black videos with these MPs, okay? So it ensued into an argument, right? And that's what happened. And this minister, what people a bit, I think what the issue is that she posted this image of emails from Mrs. White, the journalist, right? And she posted it out to her 38,000 followers, right? like she's got something to say, she's got something to prove. Well, why are you harassing me or something like that? Why are you bothering me? I'm doing something good. I'm doing something good anyway. Yeah. So it ensued into this debacle, and she goes and says, I understand that. This is the reporter saying, I understand that Mrs. Mandock, as Equalities Minister, refused to participate in the video. May I have a statement detailing the reasons why, please? So I don't know. See, I don't know if this journalist, okay. To me, the journalist said that she wanted to get this information. I think this happened at 12:30. If you look at the tweets and all of this stuff, okay, you can work out the times, yeah. But I think it happened about 12:30 in the afternoon, and this journalist said she wants it on her table, or she wants it on her computer by 5 o'clock, right, p.m. that evening. So she was literally demanding it, right. In the end, this MP, she must have tweeted her at least 8 times. So I'm thinking to myself, where's she getting the time to tweet? Where are these MPs getting time to tweet, man? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I think the thing that was concerning to some people watching the whole communique between these two individuals is that this MP posted the image of the request, right? And whether or not did she really need to do that? She didn't really need to do that. You know what I mean? I don't know where she got the time to do that. Anyway, caused a big argument, and she was saying, just to add on, that Mrs. Bandock claimed that disinformation is on the rise, adding that AFPOs are looking to sow distrust by making up claims. I refuse to take part in a video campaign which I suggested and promoted. So she said that she suggested that video, and she said that she also promoted that video, right? So this is the Mrs. Badenoch claimed that disinformation is on the rise. So anyway, the Equalities Minister added that she did not appear in the video as she was taking part and promoting vaccine trials. She concluded her tweets by saying it is creepy and bizarre to fixate on who didn't participate in the video and demand they explain themselves. Mrs. White has made her Twitter account private following Mrs. Badenoch's Twitter threads, right? So I'm not going to read out all the tweets, but basically, like I said, there's people criticising this MP in this country here. Other journalists are criticising her. I'm not sure how far this is going to go, right? But that's what's happening. It's kind of like it's meant to be. You see what's happening. Like, anyway, the point of the whole thing is that at the end of the day, I think if we're going to have this discussion about anything that anybody wants to take, especially these vaccines, okay? Again, like I said, there's the Nuremberg Code of 1947. What's in the ingredients? What the adverse reactions? Can we have informed consent? Okay? People are entitled, have the right to informed consent. That means that you are going to be thoroughly briefed, every individual. And I think it even goes further. Again, like I said, it needs to be scrapped anyway. The whole thing needs to be scrapped. Alright? It needs to be scrapped. Right? And I'm not the only one that's saying that. I'm not the only one that's saying that. There's many people, doctors and scientists and professionals in the medical industry or different places who are actually saying that. Okay? And that they should investigate this whole immunization program for 10 years or more, right? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you gotta give science a break. You got to give science a break if it's not working, okay? And it's not working for good reasons, okay? All right, so that article I just played there, I just read out there. So it's called. It's actually in the Evening Standard. Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch, Badenoch, criticised for attacking AFPO's journalist's request for a comment on Twitter. I don't know what the protocols are for requesting information from an MP as such, right? But I would have said that you should give them information, but I don't think that a journalist can demand it when they want to demand it, depending on, depending on the urgency or the circumstances or the situation or the problem or the issue. I don't know, it could be anything, you know what I mean? Those things have to be weighed up, right? So, again, like I said, they're talking about this new vaccine called Novavax. They're not even got over these other vaccines that they got already. They're already talking about a new one. So, it's, they're just rolling on this thing, innit? Right? And, people have to stand up for what they think is right for themselves, for their family, what they think is right, that's best for themselves and their family, and for future generations, and for this children's generation. Remember, we've got to protect our children, right? And with all these things that's going on, this is the time that we have to do that, right? There's too much things going on where children are the ones that are suffering the most from all this situation. It's them that are suffering. All these lockdowns, measures, all the things that's been implemented, who's suffering the most more than children? This is the after effects, the consequences and knock-on effect, okay? That's devastating families across the world. Alright, so I think on that note, I've got more to say. I think I've run over my time, but I'm not sure how much time I got, so I don't want to take liberties, right? We'll continue this whole thing next week. I don't know what I'm going to come out with. Like I said, the new developments are coming every day. I've got loads of other things that I want to cover. However, Black Culture Radio is here, and for those people, I want to big you up for logging into my YouTube channel, streaming that live, and the time and energy, thanks for subscribing and all of that stuff, okay? And I'm looking forward to more interaction with all of you out there as time goes by, because Black Culture is here and we're not going anywhere, okay? So I want to say most definitely, just think twice about what we need. The best kind of consultations. We need like a variety of people we just need the village community really to come together. You can't allow people to just use the media to manipulate the way we think and feel. They're not actually reaching out to us. They're using virtual reality. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's probably made those videos very scrappy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they will say that they can't reach out to us because of the lockdowns. But they could have done a virtual reality consultation if they really wanted to reach out to black people in this country. And same goes through for the Asian community. We have these kind of conversational dialogues, okay? You know what I'm saying? So we know that they're gonna throw every trick in the book on us. Yeah, they're throwing everything, the kissing string, they're pulling out a bag of tricks, okay? You're wondering why are they so determined to vaccinate everybody? They want to vaccinate 70% of the public, right? This is what they're saying. That's what they're saying scientifically to see what the results will be. right? But politically, or economically, what is the agenda, right? What is the agenda? Why is it so adamant, right? If you look at their statistics and everything, all they're doing is they're using fear, they're scaring people to make it look like it's more serious and deadly than it is, than to be able to encourage people to kind of deceiving people to take the vaccines, right? That's never happened in all my life. In all your lives, it's never happened. Why now? Why are they pulling all the stops and all the measures, moving all the goalposts, right? Throwing money at, wasting taxpayers' money, our money, right? So the end result, the final result is to get us on these, because once they start, they're not going to stop. They're going to want to give us vaccines every year, right? That's the idea about the immunity health passport that they're pressing to put into societies around the world to get us onto the smart grid system, because they want to make it easier, so-called easier for them to control us by them being able to monitor our body, what's inside our body, tracking us, surveillance us, yeah? So they don't have to use the cameras. It's not just about cameras, using surveillance cameras to track us. They want to track us through using this new technology in our bodies, okay? That's going to interface with the 5G technology and the 6G technology and cell 7, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to stop at that, you know what I'm saying? But you might think, why are they doing it now? I don't know why they're doing it now. I think they planned it. They got a date. The date is 2019, 2020, and that's it. They set on it, right? And that's all it is. And they've rolled it out, and that's what it is. Their plan is just getting rolled out, right? So they're gonna want to vaccinate. Once you relent, once you accept the whole thing, okay. If everyone goes along with it, the way it stands, okay. They're not going to stop there, right? And nothing's going to change. The whole thing is about transformation. They're going to transform. It's never going to go back to how it was pre-lockdown, 2020, right? I got it right that time. Trying to remember the numbers, okay? All right. So yeah. So they just want to feel it out. They're just feeling the gauges out. They're putting the gauges out to feel things out for the moment. We don't know how far they're going to go to push it. Whether they're going to bring in the army, I don't know, right? Or whether they're going to bring in laws, mandatory laws, that says you have to take it, or whether they're going to hold you hostage or whitemail you if you want to work, if you want to go and socialize, if you want to travel and all of this stuff, okay, right? But they're gonna hold you. You're a threat to them at the moment if they don't carry out their program. They see it as a threat. If you resist, you'll be viewed as dissidents, okay? And again, it's more and more apparent that we're living in a totalitarian, tyrannical dictatorship, right? And again, we got human rights laws. What's happening there? We've got all these human rights people. Where are they? Right? So I think I want to say, thanks for taking the time for long. Children. A couple of announcements quickly, just to say that for those people who's interested in supplementary schools, go to National Association for Black Supplementary Schools, which is www.nabss.org.uk, and there's a lot of stuff that they're going on there. You can sign up to their email Brother Lex, he's got, you can go and check him out on www.counselingtosuccess.com. Okay, look forward to some more announcements as times go by.